fresh map, get lost now with no extract. Like look, that's all me. Got my number, don't call me. We eating up, that's all beef. You freezing up, that's y'all's team. Cause we really lose no more. All about heating up, leaving that cold. You can see beating up, killing that show. I ain't about giving up, no. Nah, cause they don't want it with me. Look, you got a problem with me. Look, cause y'all don't want it with me. If you start a fire with me, then you never gonna stop me. Ayy, sound the alarm. We about to go on. You getting it wrong. Time to go off. Can't hold us back. Truth hurts, you always that. My truth lurks, say y'all collapse. Now scoop first, where your homies at? Come my team with me right now. My team so mean right now. But what you mean y'all out? It's time to weed y'all out. Okay, we coming back with a vengeance. Time to go start your engines. What is this thing y'all mention? Time for y'all stop pretending, Nah, y'all can't do that. Where your crew at? Y'all can't do that. Nah, where your crew at? Nah, man, cause now you alone. Yeah, get out of my zone. Man, cause now you alone. Love, get out of my zone. Nah, cause they don't want it with me. Look, you got a problem with me. Look, cause y'all don't want it with me. If you start a fire with me, then you're never gonna stop me. Nah, cause they don't want it with me. Look, you got a problem with me. Look, cause y'all don't want it with me. If you start a fire with me, then you're never gonna stop me.
Welcome to the place where dreams come true, where everything you want can be yours, if and only if you're willing to work for them, you're willing to hurt for them, but most of all, you're willing to be first for them. Look, I'm going straight to the top. I don't know how I would stop, like it or not. I got some goals that I'm hitting. You hear what I'm spitting, it's hot. Look what I got, whole lot of passion and pain. The road to success is insane. Stay out my lane, cause I'm on a mission. I'm getting what stands in my way. Yeah, I'm a beast, I wouldn't play with me, baby. The way that I'm training is crazy and I do it daily. You wanna talk about drive? I got more drive than Mercedes. I've never been lazy. I'm in the room, it's a red alert. You wanna compete? Well, get better first. I got 10 toes in the dirt, push through the hurt just to show them my worth. I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. I never stress. I know what's next. I'm who they test, like we playing chess. But I'm unimpressed, so now let me flex. Yeah, I'ma work through the struggle and hurt, cause I know my worth, and I gotta be first. Yeah, I gotta be first. Look, I don't want anyone's sympathy. I understand what is meant for me. I give my focus and energy. If it's meant to be, then it's meant to be. But mentally, I'm undefeated. They hear that and say I'm conceited, like there's no reason. Like I don't beat them and come back again just to teach them that when you work under pressure, you reach higher measures. They'll try and bring you down, but you cannot let them, and only get better and focus on cheddar. Eye on the prize and you'll become a legend. Like, when I'm in the room, it's a red alert. You wanna compete? Well, get better first. I got 10 toes in the dirt, push through the hurt just to show them my worth. I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. I never stress. I know what's next. I'm who they test, like we playing chess. But I'm unimpressed, so now let me flex. Yeah, I'ma work through the struggle and hurt, cause I know my worth, and I gotta be first. Yeah, I gotta be first. They don't know what's gotten into me, how'd I turn pain into energy. Through all the struggle and hurt, remember my worth, and that's why I gotta be first.
Look at my shine with the glow. This is my time with it though. This is my time to be way at the top. Me and my guys gon' pay out the block. I don't look like boss. Time's right, and I know the sea is walking in the limelight. Promise you gon' wanna watch like a sci-fi. My guys are high risers, high tide. Might drown if you come to my side. I pledge allegiance for lifetime. My squad connected like Wi-Fi. We grind and you see the highlights. This my life. It ain't a game now. Me and you, we ain't the same now. Lions coming out to play now. Opposition out the way now. Out of the way. You wasn't invited. Say you come to play. I dare you to try it. You don't wanna try me. Then step up to my team. Yeah, out of the way. Yeah, yeah. Out of the way. Yeah, yeah. Out of the way.
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming and Monster Energy.
Won't stop going till a player on top know it. Rooftop, penthouse, sweet. If you really want it, gotta own it. Fight through it, we was at the lowest. Blood, sweat, tears, the components. Riding all year, now's the moment. We are not friends, we are opponents. Yeah, I'm coming for mine. Yeah, I'm making a play, the game on the line. Yeah, I've been on the grind. Yeah, I jump in the spot, I made it my time. Yeah, look in the sky. Yeah, the stars align, no shade to shine. Can't stop it already. Emotional work and devotion. We put in this time. Look. You won't stop.
Good evening and welcome to the era for everyone. This is the Snapdragon Pro Series Free Fire Open Finals Day number 2. And I'm back. My name is Husky, alongside this time with Dana Lee.
And I'm not hosting for once, which is really strange for me.
I believe this is not the first time that you are not hosting.
But this is probably the first time that we're casting together in the studio,
In the studio, yes.
Yeah.
We've done it online.
Yeah.
Now we're doing it
Offline.
physically offline, which is a really great feeling.
But we got some really exciting games, right? Because you were casting yesterday with Victor.
Yes.
And we already have some pretty interesting stuff happening on those brackets, right? We've already got hard to get sitting on like what, 3 booyahs?
3 booyahs.
On the first day.
Yeah,
Hello.
So out of 6 matches that we had, only 3 teams have gotten booyahs. Hard to get got 3. Who's Next? Kalasak Philippines got 1, and K9 Esports got 2 of them. And of course, all of these constitute to not just points, but also the race for the prize pool for this competition. Let's take a look at what is in store for these players. The first place team gets to walk away with 3,000 Singapore dollars.
That's going to be a lot for these teams. If anything, you have to wonder. You stop with this, you know the joke.
I know the joke.
Inside joke, sorry guys. But you have to wonder, when you come to these prize pools, what do these teams want to put that money towards, right? Because when you're playing competitively, do you want to put it towards equipment? If you're a team, do you want to put it towards a team house? Is it money for flying for some of these events? Because for some of the events, not all of them are covered, or not all the expenses are covered.
We actually had this conversation, I think, 1 or 2 months ago. We were talking about Free Fire and how much specs you require on your phones, and in fact, Free Fire is very accommodating, right?
Yes.
And that's what gives all these players the chance to demonstrate what they're capable of.
Yeah, now to really demonstrate their capabilities over the course of the next couple weeks, these are the point system that we're going to be working with, right? So team that gets that booyah, you're going to be taking home 12 points. Very significant, because we do know that on top of the that, you also get the kill points, right? So booyah, kill points, you're probably sitting on about 24 points, I think, on average.
On average.
Yeah, but of course you do get more as you go down. You get 9, 8, 7, all the way down until 11th and 12th place, which 0 points, you do not want to be ending with 0. Now, speaking of, here are our maps for today, and Husky and I, it's our favorite map.
It's Kalahari.
Yeah.
I think all of us like Kalahari. I know I am a connoisseur of Kalahari, but we also have Bermuda in the mix, so these will be the 2 maps that we will be playing on. We kick things off with Group A versus Group B in map 1 and 2, and afterwards we will switch to Group B versus Group C, and to end the evening we will have Group A versus Group C. All these maps will be played in intervals, Bermuda, Kalahari, until we end.
Yeah, and I like the fact that it's Bermuda and Kalahari because you're getting two contrasting play styles,
Yes.
right? You've got Bermuda, smallest map in the pool, fast paced, everyone knows the terrain, so you're going to be getting a lot of action from the beginning right to the end. And then Kalahari, massive map. Most of the stuff happens towards the end of that game. Now, speaking of those maps, let's see the teams that are going to be playing first. It's Group A versus B. And as you can see here for Group A, we have AV Ligers, Orange Esports, GIX Project, Warsus PH, AKO Ultraman, and EVA Continue.
And yesterday we saw, I think Orange Esports and EVA continue having the better performance. I think AKO Ultraman towards the very last game did step up a bit, but I felt like it was a little bit too late. They were still struggling with a bit of that communication. They were not really winning a lot of that gunfight, but you told me that maybe it's just a day one thing, right? Hopefully that changes today.
We haven't talked about the day one thing, but we will after this, right? As we take a look at the teams in Group B. So this is the team that Group A is looking at. So we've got Team Valhalla, Who's Next Kalasag PH, No Escape Revolt, Anxiety, GM Remy, and finally Hard to Get. And you know the team that we were talking about that had 3 booyahs yesterday? I think their name was, what was it? Hard to Get?
And the team that has the highest total kills is also in this group is Who's Next Kalasag Philippines. In fact, Group B is, I think, the strongest group so
Group
far.
of death.
Yeah, I say the strongest group, but it's only 2 teams thus far. It's WNS
Absolutely.
and Hard to Get. The rest of them, No Escape Revolve, Valhalla, Anxiety, and GM Remy. They're still ramping up, and yesterday they didn't have the best start, but let's take a look at Orange Esports to kick off our first 2 rounds. Jabat, Goku, Dekos, Russell, Paran, and Torm. Some of these guys have been around for a very long time, but yesterday wasn't really reflective of what we know about some of these players.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so we got to go back onto that day one conversation. We did this off stream, we haven't explained it yet. And from all the Free Fire events that we've casted together, right, we know that day one or week one performances aren't really a good representation of the teams overall, because you see some teams rocket ahead during that first one, maybe first 2 weeks, but then as they go on, I don't know what happens if the team peters out or if everyone starts to figure out these front runners and they sort of catch up and kill them off early in these games. So maybe Orange Esports a little bit slower to start, but let's talk about a different team here. We have EVA Continue, we have Toxics, we have 4Bids, Daymoon, McRory. If you know who EVA Continue is, congratulations, but if you don't, you are going to be surprised with their performance, because these are some really big bad boys. I love watching them play.
Yeah, call that back to Supreme Assault Forces from the Philippines. These guys are soldiers built for the battlefield. Though yesterday wasn't really the best start for these guys. They had a lot of fumbles.
Slow start.
Again, it's a slow start, right? We were talking about that week 1 performance, but what if we compress that into just 4 days? So day 1 wasn't the best, but they only have 3 more days to go. So it's today or never. You gotta come online today. But let's take a look at one of the front runners that we have by the end of day 1. It's Hard to Get, Jay-Z, Batman, Ares, Insane, and Shira. And if you guys know Divinity, you will know Hard to Get.
Yeah, you should know these boys, especially considering that they've been in the scene forever, right?
Oh, yes.
I think we've followed these guys since the
MCP
very beginning of their careers. They were No Escape, weren't they?
At one point, right?
I think No Escape was their very first... I'm scared I'm getting it wrong. I think it was No Escape that was the first iteration of the team before they got picked up.
Yeah, and then they went to Divinity, right? At one point. So the very first MCP major, these guys have been around forever. I think Batman was regarded as one of the best players at one point in his career. Though right now we have a lot more young superstars, but his legacy always remains.
Yeah, you're never going to forget Batman. Those rooftop snipes, that man can be insane.
Yeah.
Now, before we jump into the matches today, we have to see where everyone currently is, right? So at the very top, you can see it's Who's Next Kalasag PH with 59 points. And weirdly enough, they've only got 1 booyah.
Yeah.
Their kills are carrying them this round.
35 total kills, completely smashing the competition so far. K9 Esports in second. They are 3 points behind Who's Next Kalasag Philippines, but a lot of those points are due to the fact that they don't have as much kills. In fact, the very first opening round yesterday, Who's Next Kalasag Philippines got 17 kills in their first round. Basically, 1/3 of the entire lobby.
Yeah. So it's just, I think from everything that we've seen, some people would say placement points are really important. You should be focusing on placement points. I think kills are where it's really at, right? That really separates you from the competition.
Look at hard to get. They have 3 booyahs. They have 36 placement points, but at the end of the day, it was just 54 points. They still are not in first place, though. Getting 3 booyahs will give you a slightly different impression. Now that I look at it, if we look at the total placement points, it means that one of the games, hard to get, got no points at all.
Well,
This is very interesting, right?
it's a day one thing.
It's a day one thing. I mean, Orange Esports is doing pretty fine. I know that I said that they didn't have the best start. I felt like Orange Esports could have done slightly more in certain situations. We saw a bit of inconsistency, but it was also because we have a lot of teams, even on the second half of the leaderboard, that were very aggressive. Like AV Ligers, for example, even though they are in 17th place, they really love to fight.
Well, speaking of fight, it looks like we're going to be jumping into our first game of the day. It's teams in Group A versus B, and we are on the wonderful sunny shores of Bermuda. And I'm expecting a lot of action. I'm really curious to see, did we see any double drops yesterday? Were there any teams really putting the pressure in? No. Do you think we could see it?
Not that I remember. I hope so. Well, I hope not.
So.
For the benefit of some of these teams, I hope not. I remember yesterday in Game 1, Orange Esports decided to drop somewhere near hangar, and then they took the launch pad, and then they jumped into observatory and ended up getting wiped, I believe, by GM Remy. Hopefully that doesn't happen today. There were a couple instances where teams go for a late drop and they got sniped while they were parachuting midway down. But it's kind of a one-off thing.
Okay, hang on. Do you see this map here? We do have AKO surrounding
AV Ligers.
Yeah.
All right.
Hello.
In fact, this is kind of like a sibling rivalry. They're basically sister class. AKO Ultraman, but we already got 2 knockdowns from the side of AV Ligers, and this has been a recurring theme for AV Ligers. They take fights, but they just couldn't close it out. It feels like there was some desynchronization in their movements, and this feels like one of it. AKO Ultraman just getting the better end of the stick.
I feel like I may have sort of jinxed this, right? I was saying, like, have we seen some double drops? Oh, yeah, we got one going
I was trying
already.
to help you. I said no. I should have said yes.
Sure. I think this is your curse happening, Husky. Like, whenever you think someone's going to win, they don't win. So I'm very sorry.
In my defense, I never said AV Ligers was going to win any round.
Yeah.
Up till now.
No, pretty interesting decision here, right? Because we're only seeing a couple of AKO players here, whereas you could technically have more, but they're trying to play it safe, it looks like, right? So just take down Psycho, you got one more player left. I mean, this should just be a pretty easy pick-off. It's 4 points for AKO if they get it. So off to a great start already from Bermuda.
Yeah. A perfect start.
Yeah.
You love it when you get 4 free points. In fact, this is the first time I believe I've seen double Magnum being used. EXO putting out a different set of guns. That's your starter gun. He's going to transition into the rifle pretty soon. In fact, we know him as one of the more prominent sniper players.
Yeah.
As a sniper riflers in Malaysia. And yesterday he did demonstrate that. In fact, I think even in close quarter combat, this guy has really stepped up his game.
Yeah. But this is only the beginning, Husky, right? We've got plenty of map to go. We've got 10 more teams left in the pool. So, I mean, it looks good for now for AKO, but performance-wise, let's hope it continues, right? Because something I noticed with Free Fire, right, is that some teams work really well off of momentum, and I'm wondering if AKO is also one of those teams.
Yeah. There is one team so far that really, that really carries that mantra, but that team is in Group C. It's K9 Esports, so hopefully we get to see that later on. But then we have WNX, a team that had one of the best opening rounds yesterday, fighting against Orange Esports, and these two teams are contending for the #1 spot.
Woo!
And so far, I think Yadobe is doing a fantastic job in suppressing the members of Orange Esports.
Oh, Orange are so lucky. I was worried that someone was going to get sniped mid-air, but luckily they do not get taken out. So
today Twinkle is playing in, so kind of a sub from WNX. Yeah, so yesterday Twinkle didn't play at all. Kind of a different composition. I'm excited to see the dynamic. But I personally would look at Yadobe and Basic. I know we have Let's Go in the team, but I think Basic and Yadobe in that day 1 performance shine brighter than Let's Go. Not to take anything away from that player, it's just overall, I felt like the spotlight was primarily on Yadobe himself. master sniper of WNX.
Who knows? Maybe the spotlight will change today. They're just like, oh, it's okay. You can take all the kills. We'll back you up. You know, gotta give everyone a little bit of that spotlight. Teamwork makes the dream work.
It
You
does,
cannot
it
have
does.
that one person hogging everything. But WNX. All right, so they're gonna be switching over here. Just onto Bullseye. And it looks like no one's here either. So free loot for the team. They send 2 players. Yeah, the whole team's coming over. I was wondering if they might decide to split up. Not very common in Free Fire. We see most teams sort of sticking together because if you're out and about roaming, if you get knocked out, you don't really have anyone there to pick you back up. So just bring the whole team over. Pretty quiet, actually. Oh, never mind. I lied.
Kind of. So off broadcast, we were talking about. We were kind of joking around like about some of the player name, right? When I say joke, I meant we were making reference Batman against Superman.
Oh my gosh. Why
we-
can't you say that material for when it actually happens?
So we have Too Fast against Too Slow.
Oh my
There's
god.
actually a player called Too Slow
Stop.
in the lobby.
Stop.
No,
Come on.
I'm not kidding. We have Too Fast against Too Slow. We actually have one player called Hawkeye, but unfortunately there's no dead shot. Right.
Stop it!
You
FYI, I
can't
really
blame
want
me
to.
for
I
that.
want
It's-
to ride this caffeine high while the game is still happening.
Yes.
Unfortunately, though, very peculiar match because, to be honest, I think we're more used to seeing more action around this period.
Well,
we do get a little bit, but I was expecting more. I was expecting 2 or 3 team fights to happen at the same time. But as you can see right now, we do have some Husky.
Yeah. Well, Ares right in the face of Retooth GM. Remy, they do get a trade back. In fact, Ares somehow had to surrender his life for it. GM Remy coming in from the flank, and I think
Insane.
hard to get found themselves in a spot they didn't expect to be in. Insane will tick down, and Remy picks up a very easy kill for himself. In fact, out of all of that, GM Remy gets the better end of it. And props to Remy from playing from that long range. The VPH Velocity Prodigy, the young superstar, now playing with GM Remy. You always have to be careful of where this guy is positioned. But considering the situation, I think hard to get will have to fight their way out of this.
I don't think they can. It almost looks like they're going to probably sacrifice one player just to get the other one away. We don't know who's the further player. It looks like... All right, so I think Batman is... oh, no, yeah, it's Batman.
I think it's Batman. Yeah,
Yeah,
work
so-
your magic, come on.
I'm not sure.
Filipino sniper. No,
yeah.
never mind.
It looks like it's just going to be a pretty easy pickoffs here for GM Remy. But the question is, like, do they know where Batman is? And it looks like they don't.
I mean, if you're GM Remy, you're happy with this, right? Well, we got 3 kills, we lost 1. Let's not take any chances. What
this
can
is-
Batman do?
But this is actually a really bad start for Hard to Get, right? Because this is our 3rd place team. They got 3 booyahs. The chance of them getting a booyah this round, not very, very slim.
Very slim.
But most importantly, they need to get at least kills to offset this bad placement. But with 1 player left, it's a very big ask.
And we are asking it from one of the most prominent players from the team, right? I mean, Batman, he had his fair share of lows. Now it's time to see if he can bring out that high point. That what he once was. I say that it make me feel like that I am not respecting Batman.
It's
but
fine. Look. At the end of the day, we
give-
let Batman do the
yeah,
talking.
he's just gonna do it, and he's gonna shut me up. But so
Batman,
interesting.
come shut this guy up.
Interesting fact about Hard to Get was that I think most of the rounds that they won yesterday, and all the booyahs that they got were actually from clutches. They were actually always playing from behind. They got good position. So this is definitely a polarizing start for them. On the other side, Warsick Philippines actually lost Joy very early on, and they have to run away from No Escape Revolt. But unfortunately, Orange Esports is also somewhere around this area, and Invoker will taste that pain, and Too Slow also goes down.
Oh man, Torm is just shooting up a storm, right? Grabbing so many kills for the team. But so far, it looks like Orange Esports are going to be running into their own issue here. They're going to run into RV.
Jim Quest taking some suppressive fire. Well, Orange Esports, they do have the high ground. So I don't think they're too worried about RV retaliating. Orange Esports taking this very slow and methodical approach towards RV. In fact,
I don't know. Bit of an awkward hill.
It's rushing down, you know?
Yeah.
Making it a bit better progress. In fact, running straight into RV. And it's going to be a 2 versus 2, but look at the amount of glue walls layered by the members of Orange Esports. Deco just leads the charge and get a good backstab onto Senju. And he's still going. He has his buddy with him. Parent also comes in. We see the time turner from the members of RB. Complete chaos and panic. But at the end of that, it is Decos who gets 3 down before he himself gets incapacitated. But the rest of his team are already here. And RB will just have to watch, well, GymQuest will just have to watch as his teammates gets taken out. But I think he himself is going to get chased down. Did get thrown on the ground and secure a point for himself. Some sort of consolation prize. But at the end of the day, No Escape Revolt still gets knocked out.
Yeah, bit of a painful one for Orange Esports, to be honest, though, because they did lose Torm. We saw Torm do quite a bit of damage in that fight to begin with, so to lose a bit of that firepower, I think it's going to hurt the team. But to be fair, I mean, Deco's also did a fantastic job, right? Like, he literally just walked in, was doing the damage, and I mean, it almost seemed like they weren't expecting Decos to have such confidence running
Bravado.
into them. Yeah, I want to use another word, but I don't know if it's appropriate. But you know what I mean.
I think I do. I feel like it's
big
a word
boy
that
energy.
It's I feel like cockiness isn't the right word.
No, I think you know what I'm talking about, but
I
you
know,
also
I
don't know
know.
what to say.
Yes.
It's okay.
We can't say that on broadcast.
No.
In fact, there is this one term. I don't know if it is widely used across.
You know, okay, never mind. Ballsiness.
Exactly.
There we go.
There we go.
Good enough.
So I thought of this one term. I don't know if it's commonly used throughout multiple esports title, but I always have this term in my head. It's called overheating. Right? When you are playing
Ooh.
so good and you start overdoing things and you end up dying or you end up losing a lead,
Yeah.
that could be what happened.
Mm-mm.
But then again, it's Orange Esports. The Decos feels really good about himself.
Yeah.
We just lost World 6 Philippines, so that is pretty surprising.
We are starting to lose some of these teams, but Husky, let's look at positioning so far, right? So we're looking at AKO. They are comfortably within Riverside and that circle. It looks like they're going to be the ones to maybe try and stop everyone from coming into that brand new circle. It's going to be a bit of a bloodbath for all of the teams on the western side as well, right? Because that's where that's where the free land is still available.
Not anymore.
Not land of the free.
Not Land of the Free. In a bit, I think, like what? In 35 seconds, the Land of the Free would be occupied by the circle. In fact, I feel like EBC is in a pretty good spot, even though they're on this bridge, but they are gatekeeping potential movements from teams that come in from the southwestern side. And at the same time, this is a very unusual circle.
Oh,
Hard
Batman.
to get in the meantime, has been eliminated in 7th place. And I believe that they got 5 points, 5 kills, but that's pretty much it. So at least there's some takeaway from such an abysmal start.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right. Yeah, if you're a hard-to-get fan, you do want that team to come back in these next couple matches, right? This is not really like the best opening game for the team.
They got 3 booyahs yesterday. You can give her 1 round.
But you know what's going to end up happening? I think we're going to see a pretty big clash here with WNX and VHA. But who has the better position?
I think WNX is in a better spot. Though Valhalla, they are all clumped up together. This blue zone is going to push them.
Okay, hang on. Who's going to get the vision first? I think they should both see each other, yeah.
Yeah, they saw both of them.
Does VHA know? They don't know!
And
Oh no!
Just very precise shot. Dookie is down. Mumuki is going to be the
my
next
God.
one under fire. But unfortunately, I think for Valhalla, you just got to wrap your tails between your legs and get whoever you can out. In this case, I think Mumuki is probably going to be the only survivor out of the entire Valhalla squad. But yeah, Dopes did see him jumping into the building, and this glue wall will probably lead them on his trail. And I think this probably is going to be the end of the road for Mumuki.
Oh, that was not the best positioning there to be if you're VHA, but one of two things could have happened there, right? They did not see them coming, right? That was a very quick backstep. Second one was they were also they were already running to the next compound. They didn't have any trees to hide behind. There were no rocks. So they were probably hoping, okay, well, they have to hope these shots miss, that we survive. We can jump over this fence and hide in the compound, but awkward spot, they get cut down. What can you really do?
Yeah, out in the open. There's very little way out of that. And while all of that was happening, Dope actually lost his life thanks to Ray Meow, while WNX still finished off the remnants of VHA. But they did lose one of their members thanks to G and Remy again. Ray Meow, the young prodigy sniper from the top of the hill, actually got a decent snipe. So WNX didn't get out of their scot-free. In fact, I still think that they are in a decent position. We see Orange Esports somehow having Parent in the waters.
Yeah, Parent's in a bit of a weird spot. I mean, and there's also nowhere for him to hide as well.
I think they saw him.
Yeah, they
They
did see him.
definitely did see him.
But there's no safe entryway into this new circle. Like, look at that hill. It's barren. There's no cover. So he's basically stuck here until either WNX is engaged by another team, or if they miss, which I don't think they're going to miss. So I think at this point, if you're parrying, you're praying that they focus on someone else so that you can quickly go up that hill.
He's just hiding.
Oh, hang on. I see someone actually trying to backstab him. We don't get to see it. There we go. All right, he does get taken.
Yeah,
I saw Daemoon just sort of run at him, so.
Yeah, it's a free kill. Oh, Fura did. He's going to get tagged by members of AKO Ultraman, so unfortunately this bike is going to be pretty hard for him to pilot downhill. But again, we're looking at GM Remy with this high ground advantage, and even though AKO Ultraman are in the center of the circle, they are now surrounded by 3 different squads, pelted by bullets left, right, and center. McRory also wants to join the party, but AKO Ultraman thus far does have a couple of houses to work with.
Yeah, McRory's really well looted as well. He's sitting on 9 glue walls, which is fantastic coming into these last couple circles as well. You can see here, Roy, not so bad. I mean, he's got two glue walls, but it's really tough if you don't have that many to use, right? Because you can't create your own cover. You're forcing the enemy to try and play around your circles if you can. But for now, though, it looks like it's a bit of a war here with Roy and 4-bits, but no damage on either side as of yet. It's really tough to find any kind of opening now because look at all the compounds everyone's working with. It's a small village, lots of corners to work with. It looks like it's just going to come down to this next circle where it's really going to be, it's going to get a bit tight in here, if I do say so myself.
Yeah,
not enough room.
If you're AKO Ultraman, you are starting to feel the heat because you have so many teams from different angles.
Look at AKO's circle.
The circle is with them, but all the teams are against them. But good news is that EBC are engaged in a fight with WNX. Basic downs Daemon, and WNX now going for the kill, but they are trapped under the bridge, so this blue zone is going to force them all out into the open, and maybe this is a shooting gallery that AKO Ultraman is looking for, but Rory with a good lob over that glue wall to take out Basic, and EVC is trying to go in for the kill, but unfortunately WNX still has some spunk left in them, have some ammunition in the barrel, in the chamber. Let's Go gets himself his own grenade kill, and he was able to make it into the zone, but the circle is still closing in, and at the end of the day, it was Lemon that takes him out, and it's down to AKO Ultraman against GM Remy.
Oh, this is going to be such a crucial fight here. So AKO, they're currently stuck here together as a team. It's going to come down to Remy, but can Remy flush them out, Husky?
Yeah, GM Remy is going to try. Aguila starts it off on a good note with a decent nade, and he's going to throw out a second one. Ramiel snipes Lemon, and Lemon is no more. The rest of AKO Ultraman trapped in the shack, barricaded by just glue walls, and I think that they have put themselves in an inescapable spot. The ice grenade thrown out as well. Aguila is going for the wraparound. He sees Exo's back exposed. Roy's going to tank the bullet, and Roy wins that, but they have no finisher available. Ramiel just lobbing grenades after grenades over that glue wall, but GM Remy are down to just 2 members. It's 3 versus 2 in favor of AKO Ultraman. Let's see if Ramiel and Fura can do this. The grenade again tagging both Roy and Too Fast. No casualties just yet, but this will be the final fight. Ramiel once more, a nade. Too Fast down. The blue zone will take him out as AKO Ultraman tries to surround Ramiel from both sides, but Fura comes in, backs him up. The glue wall war is in favor of GM Remy, but Roy has better accuracy, but this glue wall is going to cost him. Doesn't matter at the end of the day. XL comes in clutch, and it will be AKO Ultraman with the first booyah of the evening.
That was a bizarre final circle because I'm not sure about you, Husky, but I really liked GM's Remy position originally. Right?
Me too.
They were in the center. They actually had a lot of glue balls on the team, but they chose to be the aggressors to try and flush out AKO. AKO played it patiently. They were keeping their resources, getting ready for that final circle. I feel like Remy got a bit too excited.
Exactly my thoughts, right? We saw AKO Ultraman in a very bad position, right? The glue walls that they set up was kind of hindering them from progressing, from running away from the blue zone. They had to turn this corner. They essentially had to run into GM Remy. But they made the decision, you know, to try to test the waters, you know, stick their foot in a crocodile-infested river, and one of them got bit off. And it was just very unlucky for GM Remy because I honestly share the same sentiment that they had that map. They just were a bit impatient.
Yeah, I mean, we can say that they're impatient, but clearly the team had other plans, right? Maybe they thought that they didn't have as many glue walls to work with, and the urgency was there to try and get those eliminations. Maybe they thought that, okay, they're stuck in a really hard place. It's going to be hard for them to defend. Let's try and get 2 people with the shotgun, which unfortunately it didn't work out. I mean, a lot of things could have happened in that match, right? And Remy, they weighed the risks versus rewards, and they thought playing aggressive was going to work out. So it's unfortunate that it didn't, but for AKO, if I'm going to say anything, these guys are going to be pretty happy after getting this victory.
I'm happy for AKO. I'm happy for GM Remy because compared to yesterday, these 2 teams haven't been able to rack up as much numbers. So to kick off the very first match of day 2 with a first and second place finisher and with decent kill points as well is one of the ways to boost your morale.
And speaking of boosting morale, Husky, I do believe we have someone that's boosting our morale.
Yes, boosting our morale is boosting the morale of the players, is our partners who are providing us this platform for the Snapdragon Pro Series Free Fire Open Finals, the Snapdragon Elite Gaming when winning matters. And I think winning is always the core of competition. You don't want to lose. You want to be at the top of the world. You want to be the king. And it is also made possible by Monster Energy, because it unleashed the beast within the players and also within us, because we get to commentate such amazing games. Check them out at www.monsterenergy.com/gaming.
You know where to go if you need that little boost in energy. But speaking of other things, if you want some more information on the tournament, you can head on over and join our Discord server to keep up with all of the action. If you need any information, we have you covered over there. But I do believe we're going to go for a quick break, let these teams sort of figure out what's going on. So we're going to go for a quick break. But in the meantime, you get to watch some highlights. So we'll see you after this.
Welcome to the place where dreams come true. Where everything you want can be yours. If and only if you're willing to work for them. You're willing to hurt for them. But most of all, you're willing to be first for them. Ha! Look, I'm going straight to the top. I don't know how I would stop, like it or not. I got some goals that I'm hitting. You hear what I'm spitting? It's hot. Look what I got. Whole lot of passion and pain. The road to success is insane. Stay out my lane, cause I'm on a mission. I'm getting what stands in my way. Yeah, I'm a beast. I wouldn't play with me, baby. The way that I'm training is crazy, and I do it daily. You wanna talk about drive? I got more drive than Mercedes. I've never been lazy. I'm in the room, it's a red alert. You wanna compete? Well, get better first. I got 10 toes in the dirt. Push through the hurt just to show them my work. I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. I never stress. I know what's next. I'm who they test. Like we playing chess. but I'm unimpressed. So now let me flex. Ha, yeah, I'ma work through the struggle and hurt. Cause I know my worth, and I gotta be first. Ha, yeah, I gotta be first. Look, I don't want anyone's sympathy. I understand what is meant for me. I give my focus and energy. If it's meant to be, then it's meant to be. But mentally, I'm undefeated. They hear that and say I'm conceited. Like there's no reason. Like I don't beat them and beat them and come back again just to teach them that when you work under pressure, you reach higher measures. They'll try and bring you down, but you cannot let them and only get better and focus on cheddar. Eye on the prize and you'll become a legend. Like, when I'm in the room, it's a red alert. You want to compete, well, get better first. I got 10 toes in the dirt. Push through the hurt just to show them my worth. I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. I never stress. I know what's next. I'm who they test. Like we playing chess. But I'm unimpressed. So now let me flex. Ha, yeah, I'ma work through the struggle and hurt. Cause I know my worth. And I gotta be first. Ha, yeah, I gotta be first. They don't know what's gotten into me. How'd I turn pain into energy? Through all the struggle and hurt, remember my worth, and that's why I gotta be first.
I love that last line of the song that was running in the background. That's why I gotta be first. And that's why we are here, because this is the Snapdragon Pro Series Free Fire Open Finals Day number 2.
Reference.
Great reference. I'm attentive to the things. Of course, I'm Husky. She's Dana Lee. We just had a great game 1 with AKO Ultraman coming out on top in a nail-biting final fight against GM Remy. How are you feeling so far?
I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, I'm feeling even better now because if you know what time it is, it's Kalahari time. And we both know what Kalahari time is. It's a fun time because both of us, we're big fans of Kalahari. Contrasting playstyle. Again, I said this earlier on, right? Completely different playstyle required to play Kalahari compared to Bermuda. Although something pretty interesting that you mentioned that we didn't get to talk about on broadcast was that the teams have been pretty defensive, very passive on Bermuda. I think we're more used to seeing these teams eliminate each other halfway through the map, whereas we only really saw the eliminations happen towards the tail end of it. It's like everyone's scared of each other. They're testing the waters. They're trying to get a feel of everyone's play style before they really dive in and do some of the hard work.
Yeah, yesterday it felt the same. I think today there were a couple more kills that happened off screen, but I do agree, right? The general atmosphere still felt like, still is as if a lot of teams are trying to play it a conservative manner. Though it didn't really apply to Hard to Get, though, because that was the team that was able to win through positioning, but they ended up being the first team to get knocked out in that first round.
Yeah. Now, before we jump into the next game, let's take a look at the round standings here to sort of see where everyone is in our first group, which is A versus B. Now, as you can see at the very top, we have AKA Ultraman sitting on 25 points. They got the Booyah. They got 13 kills to their name. These guys are cruising after this first game. And then, of course, we had GM Remy, second place team. They got 6 kills under their belt, which is not too bad. But if I was GM Remy and to see the Booyah so close, I'd be I would have maybe felt a bit disappointed.
Yeah, even with the Booyah, GM Remy would still be in second place because they didn't have enough kills.
But they would have closed the gap.
They would have closed the gap, for sure. I think on the overall leaderboard, they are also not too far behind AKO Ultraman. WNX, Who's Next, Kalasak Philippines, getting 14 points, a decent start. Orange Esports also keeping up, right? Just 1 point behind WNX. And Eva continue with 10 points in 5th place. And allow me to make this reference before we move away from this graphic.
Here we go.
So we have Superman, we have Batman, and we have Ultraman.
Stop. Stop.
You have to let me milk it, right? Because we only have 4 days. I only have 4 days on this podcast. And we are not sure if any of these teams might not make it to the next stage. We only get 16 teams for the next stage. I'm just taking advantage of things.
Oh, goodness. All right, I'm going to let you sort of calm down here because we are going to take a look at the featured team very quickly here. We have Orange Esports, who did make a bit of a comeback that round, right? They didn't get the Booyah. I think they got 4th place. So they got a decent round. But of course, we are expecting this team to actually be one of the top runners, I think, at the end of the competition. As you can see here, they did 6,251 damage. They had 13 kills under their belt. And the survival time, 17-14.
I actually was wondering what happened to Orange Esports from in between the time where the camera wasn't on them, because when we saw them, they had a full squad and they
Yes.
were basically bulldozing everyone. And then when we switched back to them for the second time, there was only one guy left. But let's take a look at the overall standings. Who's next? Kalasak Philippines. Again, the most kills out of the entire competition.
Yep.
73 points, still sitting on top.
Placed third in that last round, so still very
Yes.
high.
And Orange Esports have overtaken Hard to Get, but that was also because Hard to Get got bombed out pretty early.
Yes.
But they were able to scrape by with a couple of kill points.
Yeah, they actually got crippled, I want to say pretty hard, to be
Pretty
honest. So Hard to Get, going to have to look to try and get a redemption round here if they want to try and get their position back. But Orange Esports fans are going to be pretty excited, right? This team, they managed to get a pretty good round. If they can end the day, or at least end this next round with a pretty, I want to say mid to top end of the bracket finish, I think they'd be pretty happy with their performance. Because if you see right now, the brackets I think are still very volatile. The gap between first place and even ninth place, it's about 30 points. And on a good day, a team can get 30 points no problem.
Yeah, 30 points actually doesn't sound... It sounds a lot, but in Free Fire context, it is just 2 rounds worth of points.
If you have a pretty good round.
If you have a pretty good
Yeah.
round. If you just get the bare minimum, you could easily hit 30 points in 2 rounds. In fact, you know, for Orange Esports, I think it's a very great start for them. I think this organization, in Free Fire at least, it's still a pretty fresh, right? It's kind of like the introduction, the initiation of Orange Esports into Free Fire, and to kick it off with such a good note, I think the people behind the scenes will be pretty happy with what the team is doing.
Yeah. Well, we are going to change things up a little bit here as we jump into Kalahari. It's going to be our next map. Much bigger, much slower. It's a very punishable map, right? That's one of the things that you have to be a little bit worried about when it comes to Kalahari.
It's a map that yesterday I was talking to Victor, and we said that it tests your fundamentals and all.
Yeah.
But before we go into all of that, we're gonna hand it over to our buddies on the Malay broadcast, Ikuto and Hadi, because they have an interview with a player from AKO Ultraman. Check it out.
Macam nak kaji game lah, nak baca game. Hari ni kaji semalam tu kita bawa hari ni kita boleh baca lah game tim-tim lain kan. Lepas tu dia ni macam ni, okay, kita faham untuk kita. Kita rotate lah, kita buat.
Saya dengar orang sebelah tu cakap kaji. Haji, soalan Haji?
Saya tak ada soalan lah kat diorang ni.
Tak ada soalan. Okey.
Saya tak ada soalan lah.
Okey, soalan saya yang seterusnya. Di perlawanan yang betul-betul ketika di antara pasukan GM Remy menentang dengan pasukan Eco Ultraman, sebenarnya GM Remy ada kurang pemain, tetapi mereka yang merusuh ke dalam tempat pasukan Eco Ultraman. Agaknya, adakah itu kesilapan mereka ataupun sebenarnya memang korang dah ready dah untuk lawan dengan GM Remy sebentar tadi?
Kita orang dah tahu dah dia akan rest sebab kita orang settle yang belakang kita orang dulu. Sebab zone tengah dekat dia, so kita orang kena masuk lah sebab kita orang ujung-ujung circle dah kena zone tu kan. Saya seorang pula mati tinggal 3 je. 3 je lah lawan, pasal lawan lah.
I see. Okay, jadi selain daripada pasukan AK Ultraman, siapa agaknya yang akan memberikan tentangan yang hebat dalam game yang seterusnya? Hard to Get ke? Ataupun Who's Next ke? Agaknya siapa? Ataupun mungkin Ultraman lagi sekali buyar?
2 team lah.
Okay, siapa tu?
Snack dengan Hard to Get.
Oh, jadi saya nak mungkin soalan terakhir saya lah. Anggaran daripada Lemon untuk perlawanan kita yang seterusnya. Adakah AKO mampu untuk dapatkan booyah, dan kalau dapat booyah, berapa kill points tu agaknya?
Atas 10 lah.
Oh, lagi sekali. Booyah atas 10.
Biar
Yeah.
Booyah
confirm.
Okay, terima kasih kepada Lemon. Kirim salam kat orang belakang tu, mungkin dia pun nak bercakap juga sebenarnya kan. Boy. Alright, terima kasih. Semoga berjaya.
Did you see Axel in the background? Like Lemon's trying to give this interview, and then Axel's like, "See my shirt? That's my name."
So just to give our English audience some context, right? The main takeaway was that, so Ikuto asked Lemon, let's say, will you get the booyah in the next round? And if you do, how many kills would you get? And he said, we will get the booyah and we will get more than 10 kills. And he
Ooh.
also said that there are 2 teams that AQ Ultraman respect a lot and they are very fearful of, hard to get, and who's next Kalasak Philippines. So you can really see these two teams are doing a fantastic job. But of course, if you guys think otherwise, if you think that AK Ultraman, they're just a piece of cake, game one was just lucky, share your thoughts on social media using the hashtag Snapdragon Pro Series, and you will stand a chance to be featured on our stream. And we really would like to hear your opinions, because sometimes my opinion doesn't matter.
Oh, wow. Your opinion doesn't matter. Well, you know whose opinion does matter? It's yours. Now, of course, if you do want to throw in your predictions for today, make sure to do it in the Twitch chat. Cast your vote. Who do you think is going to win that next round? We know Husky's prediction. What's your prediction?
Who's going to win the next round? Oh, you know what? GM Remy.
All right, don't pick GM Remy. I'm very sorry. That team is now officially cursed because Husky, he's got the opposite. This man is cursed, unfortunately.
I have no idea how it came to be, but it just happened. It just happened one day. It's like Spider-Man, right? He got bitten by the spider.
He got bitten by the unlucky spider.
Like, I got bitten by the unlucky spider.
Well, it looks like the game is about ready to go. So I guess if it is ready, let's jump right in and see what's going to be happening in Game 2 of the day. It's still teams in Group A versus B. GM Remy, if you can prove Husky wrong, I think the curse is broken.
They have to prove me right that they can win, right? Them winning is them proving me right, because I say that they will win.
Okay, the thing is, when you say win, it actually means lose. So they need to prove you wrong.
No, they win. They would prove me right. In fact, I think actually
this curse is never going to be broken.
These players are very good at keeping their promises. Because yesterday, Ikuto also asked K9 Esports, he asked Blank if they are going to win and if they are going to get more than 10 kills. He said yes, and they proceeded to deliver 2 Booyahs with double-digit kills in the last 2 rounds. So if anything, I am looking forward to AKO Ultraman keeping that promise as well. Because you gotta. Who loves people? Who doesn't love people who keep the promises?
Yeah. Well, I want to see a bit of a change here for Hard to Get, right? Because they had a pretty shoddy round last game. They got cut down pretty early. It was basically Batman, I think, out there for 75% of the game. If you're alone, like the chance of getting picked off, it's just so easy. But it looks like we're ready to get first blood on the map.
I believe Too Slow was the one who got the initial kill.
Yeah, it might be the action happening up top.
Yeah, we see that. So RV is fighting WNX and Warstick is fighting against Orange Esports. Orange gotta somehow get out from this, because this is not good news if they get taken out this early on, considering that they had a pretty good round 1 and they were so close to overtaking WNX.
Yeah, so far Too Slow has a pretty good point of view here. He actually spots out Goku, and luckily WS also was able to get that pick back up onto their teammate. They did get knocked down originally, so I'd say defender's advantage is looking pretty good. I think if you're Orange, it's a bit of a risky play to play around the ruins.
Like, who fights a shrine? I have not seen this before. I don't believe I've ever seen people fighting a shrine this early on.
Well, look at Deco's. Like, Deco's is ready for anyone to just pop their head out.
And the fact that he got to such vantage point, this is
Goku, can you
good
get the shots
news
in?
for Warstick. Goku did try to take a couple of shots, but Dekos ends up getting return fire dealt with instead. And Too Slow just runs into Parent with a double Vector, and Invoker finishes the kill, and Orange Esports descend into Pandemonium. This fight has ended. Orange Esports, they run, and I say they, I mean Decos runs with the Orange Esports flag.
I think if anything, that was the absolute worst outcome to have as Orange Esports. Because if you looked at it originally, right, their point of view, it looked like they were the ones that were supposed to be the aggressors. They were the ones that were supposed to be applying the pressure to WS. But absolute opposite, because let's be honest, defender's advantage here, it's so difficult.
Oh, Batman found him.
Oh my gosh. And that's it.
That's it. 0 points for Orange.
Oh
and they were
my
so
gosh.
close. They were so close to that first place. But unfortunately, it would have to wait another round.
I wonder if that spurt of confidence came from game 1. Because they had a pretty reasonable game 1. They were sitting in 2nd place. The team was looking great. But then just Kalahari, man. Kalahari's so punishing.
Thing. You get caught out in the open, and that's it. Lights out.
Well, things are going to be a little bit different here, I guess, for Hard to Get. This team is no longer going to be immediately cut down. Interesting for them to play on the very edge of the map. So it looks like they want to try and use this vantage point to spot out the competition and maybe get some snipes in, right? Because we already saw Batman get 1 for the team. Why not do it again?
This was a complete opposite of what we saw from not just Hard to Get, but majority of the teams where yesterday no one was skirting the map. No one was really playing by all of these mountains. They were trying to go for Refinery. They were trying to go for Oldhampton, which Warstick Philippines is doing right now. But then you have, EVC right on the other end of the river.
Hold up. You do not want to run in that direction, WS. I know they don't know this, but they're probably running into one of the absolute worst teams to engage into, which is EVC.
And probably saw Toxic, I think.
Do you think so?
I think so.
I think McRory know that they're there as well, right? Like, he's not moving. You see him cycling his weapons. He's basically just waiting for someone to stick their head out.
Yeah, I think WS know.
Yeah.
They're just chilling in this building. Well, it's still the first phase. I don't think they are too worried. Though, if the circle moves away, then Warstick will have to start trying to take control of Oldhampton. That is where they will have to make their advance into the territory of EVC.
Yeah. Well, it depends on how long. It depends on how long both of these teams want to camp their position as well, right? Because it's still early. The circle doesn't really push you until the third circle, and it looks like we actually might be looking at a remake, guys. So we'll get a little bit more information later on. But considering that we are here and none of the teams are moving, we might be looking at a remake. We'll let you know in a second. But I have to say though, we're gonna say it again. Orange eSport fans, I'm so sorry. Terrible game so far.
Well,
I wonder if we're getting a remake.
Yeah, if that comes true, then it nullifies whatever happened in that second game. So they get a second chance. So we're still getting update to see to tell everyone what exactly is the issue. But
to be fair, though,
now,
the game has just started.
Yeah,
Nothing really happened.
Nothing much was lost. Right?
Yeah.
Just Orange Esports.
It was Orange Esports, and then also I did want to highlight Hard to Get. I think they're positioning this game as much better. Like they basically put themselves in a position where there's a wall behind them. Yeah, like there's a wall behind them. There's absolutely no way anyone can backstab them. If you want to come at them, they're gonna see you.
So yesterday we got to see the interview between our friends on the BM side and Shira from Hard to Get, and he said that they in match one they felt they got lucky with positioning, and then they proceeded to get 2 more booyahs also off of positioning. And so this really shows that these guys value where they position themselves on the map a lot, but also at the same time when they are put behind, when they are at a member's advantage, they can still turn it around in their favor. I think it's a very good quality of Hard to Get, which was not demonstrated in round 1, and I think that is kind of the feels bad part.
Feels bad. But I mean, they're making that redemption play this round. But I'm wondering though if it's because we still don't know if it's going to be a remake or if maybe we're looking at a technical pause or if maybe like a player is disconnected. So yeah, we're sort of in the dark as well with all the viewers.
Yeah. So there are a couple of teams that we focus on a lot. Hard to Get, WNX, Orange Esports.
It makes sense, right? Because they're the front runners. We always see these guys placing up top. But I'm assuming you're going to bring up an underdog. Who are they?
I want to talk about like Valhalla. I want to talk about Anxiety. I think these teams, obviously up to this point, haven't been putting up numbers. They were getting taken out left, right, and center. They will not be a remake. What is certain is that RV are not in the best possible, not best position. In fact, WNX also lost Let's Go, but they have the numbers advantage, and it is RV that is facing the wrath of WNX. Senju is the third one to go down. Basic somehow surviving that, and Twinkle will secure that kill on Senju, and it's Jim Quest left all alone against 3 members of WNX. And this should be it. No Escape Revolt eliminated from the game.
Yep, that's going to be 4 points going into the pocket of WNX as well. So pretty safe entry point, I do believe. We haven't really seen anyone on the map. Pretty happy though. I mean, this early on to get 4 kills, it's pretty significant thus far. But we will switch perspectives here. We've got AKO on the map. It looks like they're pretty clear, although Hard to Get is nearby. And I do believe they are aware of Hard to Get's position as well. So I wonder who's going to make the first move. Does Hard to Get know?
They have someone perched on top of the roof. So I assume that there's someone keeping an eye out. I mean, EXO is doing the same. So Lemon said just now that Hard to Get is one of the teams that they do respect, and they do think that poses a big threat in these rounds when they play together.
They kind of revealed their position though, because you saw that drop from Roy. So Batman.
Oh, there we go, Batman.
Yeah, Batman knows.
This might not be Gotham, but he does know where people are.
It's pretty dusty Gotham. Was this like Gotham during the Cowboy days?
I feel like I'm going to say something that a lot of DC fans might not really like. I actually don't really follow much DC hero things.
Okay, you know why? Because it's too dark.
How is? I'm
Never
sorry,
mind.
I don't get it. Is it too dark?
Never mind.
We're talking about the.
Some people might know. I don't watch much Marvel and DC as well, but my biggest takeaway from DC is everything's just dark. Like, where's the
Right,
light?
right,
Like,
yeah.
there's no. It seems like there's no budget in
Have
DC
you-
movies for any lighting.
Have you seen?
They must use candles to light
Have
everything.
you seen a real life bat in the light? No, they live in caves.
Well, okay, technically in Australia we do have fruit bats.
Yeah, well, that's fruit bats are harmless, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so
You can just hold them and they'll just eat a banana from your hand.
yeah, if Batman eats fruits, then I understand. But you know, this
Well, we
guy-
need to see what kind of bat we're looking at here, right? Like,
Right.
if is this a bloodthirsty bat or is this a fruit bat? And
I'm pretty sure if you've been on the battlefield long enough, you are going to.
No. We know Batman. Like, he's definitely bloodthirsty, right?
He
We
is.
know he's able to play from distance. He can play from close range. Like, he's really versatile if you think
He
about
is.
it. So, but on this game though, I can say for certain that we are looking at more of a range Batman because we're seeing
Range bat.
fruit bat, bloodthirsty bat, range bat. What, melee bat? Where? Not in this
Funny
game.
enough that the real Batman doesn't actually use guns, as far as I remember.
Actually, it's melee, isn't he?
Right? He used like what the
He's
batarang?
melee.
He's
Oh,
he's
the-
melee and
kind
and
of.
batarang.
Yeah, okay,
and
fine.
his Batmobile.
Well, have you seen somebody get run over by the Batmobile?
Is there a Batmobile? No, I don't think so. Okay, the
We're gonna
only
stop.
movie I watched was The Dark Knight. Okay, so if there's anything I know is that it's from The Dark Knight, and even
Alright.
then my eyes were on Joker and not Batman.
Oh gosh.
Rest in peace,
Alright.
Heath Ledger.
Yes. All right, so I do believe we're looking at a number of teams converging on this circle, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty central circle as well. Looking at the elevation here, we're looking at a pretty good game for AXT. Although, interestingly enough, we have Barbara way to the side.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit worried because when you're this far away from your team, if you get knocked out, there's no way you get rezzed in time.
So anxiety is the one team in this Group A, Group B bout that goes straight for Refinery when it comes down to Kalahari. They've been doing that consistently, and I want to just quickly touch on Kanoho just now that we saw on the screen. Fantastic grenade player. Give him the grenades, he will utilize those utilities to perfection. He got the most grenade kills yesterday, and I think it was about like 5-6 grenade kills overall. AKO Ultramando finally makes contact with EVC.
Ooh, Rory actually taking a big fat hit there. Gotta be careful, 2 shots will get you knocked down.
Next thing, a more frontal fight, more up front against VHA. Valhalla once more succumbing to the wrath of WNX. Mumuki caught out in the open, sprayed down by Basics. Arian just trying to get some retribution. Arian actually gets a double, and now he's gonna switch. You don't run out of ammunition. Mumuki does bleed out to the blue zone, but Arian might have just saved his team from certain doom. They were getting shot by a third party, but now Valhalla also are on the run as WNX Yadom tries to get the rest of his members back up on their feet. Off screen, AXT is fighting EVC. We have all the battles starting very early on, just 12 minutes into this match. And for Arian, he's gonna have to face everyone from WNX.
He is basically the gatekeeper at this point. Now, the thing is, if he gets these 2 kills and he goes down for it, I think he'd be happy. But
Yeah.
can he get them?
WNX decided to abandon Twinkle, so it's a 2 versus 1 essentially. Arian getting swarmed from multiple angles, but he's playing really well alongside the glue wall.
1
Twinkle
more to
gets a quadra, and Arian, he's still somehow alive.
Can he get
Yadom
it done?
ends up being alone and finds revenge with that SMG, but WNX lost so much in the process.
It was so costly, and it was because of 1 player. That is such a terrible trade at the end of the day. Yes, they survived. They're going to get a little bit more in terms of placement points, but you would have loved to survive with all 3 players there. But as we can see here, these teams are competing for this high ground. Oh boy, this is not where you want to be.
Kanoho has a grenade in his hands. He's a very dangerous man. Barba up front, but unfortunately not getting anything done. Gotta get the glue wall down. Who's next? Kalasak Philippines has been taken out as Yadom. He takes down to the blue zone. AXT decides that we're not gonna play long range. We're gonna run into your face, and they run into Damon's shotgun barrel. Toby gets taken down, but Toxic gets flanked. Barba doesn't really get the shot in. Toxic's trying to retaliate, but Barba still wins out. Damon did knock Chessman down, but it will be Barba confirming the kill. A 1-for-1 trade thus far.
Excuse me?
Kanoho with the grenade launcher takes out Forbids. Barba now rushes into the building. He does see McRory, who is trapped tucked inside the corner, but he has nowhere to go, and all of these glue walls ends up favoring AXT.
Barber. More like Boomba at this point. This man makes his gun go boom. And he got so many knockdowns in the process as well. And to have EVC of all teams be the ones on the run, that is such a big victory for the team. And we almost saw McRory get cut down there. The teams know where he is. He's basically a free kill. I don't know if McRory's going to be able to get anything else out of this. At this point, it's placements. He's got to survive.
Look at this, the Olaf Boost Free Fire version from War 6 Philippines. So up the cliff, you don't have to run up. You just stand on each other's shoulder. You're going to run into AKO Ultra Mando. Lemon is preoccupied by hard to get, I believe.
Roy?
Shira, he's going to take down to that blue zone for sure. So hard to get. Only left with 2 members as Ritus from afar snipes insane, but Invoker finds contact, makes contact with McRory, and he falls to his death.
Oh boy, I think we're looking at only 2 players left from Hard to Get as well. Off screen, we did see 2 eliminations. So Hard to Get, this looks like it's going to be a pretty tough round for them as well. But WS, they're going to try and creep in. Very awkward circle, actually, and it's just going to get even worse!
Wow! I believe that is a quad kill with a nade. And it could not have been any better from AKO Ultraman. And that is the play of the day for me. Heads down. We see hard to get. They've been knocked out. GM Remy still in the game, Danielle. I just want to re-emphasize this. GM Remy is still in this.
You don't jinx them. You stop right there,
no,
sir.
they are still in this.
Yes, they are still in this. I'm going to stop you right there, sir, okay? This road is closed. You have to take the other way.
Right, so AKO Ultraman are still in this.
Yeah, AKO is still in this. GM Remy have been very quiet up until this point. So I think we're starting to see a bit of a trend with this team where they are a little more passive until they get into those last couple zones. And let's be realistic. I think GM Remy is a team to look out for when you have those these team versus team combat situations, because you can tell that there is coordination. They do have a plan going into these fights, but positioning-wise, this is probably not the fight that they want to take.
Yeah, so Axel already took out Ritus, but Aguila does get a good trade back, and with the ice grenade, they make it a fair exchange.
Too fast?
When all of that was happening, AXT is actually getting 3 hits in, so both GM Remy and AKO Ultraman have to be really careful as AXT still perched up on top of that hill with the circle in their favor. So this is just between AKO Ultraman and GM Remy with Führer alongside Raymail slowly pushing in, but Aguila gets knocked out by the play zone. Oh, his back was turned for too long. His teammates have to abandon him, and this is not good for GM Remy. AKO Ultraman though also remains with 2 members.
Yeah, we're looking at 7 players left, 3 teams remaining. 3 players as the absolute most here. 3 players on AXT.
Oh, they're rushing.
Is it worth rushing?
And Führer got the knock, but Toby instantly exchanged it. No, those glue walls, they're going to fall. Piercing rounds coming in from the side of AXT. I'm not really sure if Kano can do it, but somehow he picks Raymail back up. What a play from the members of GM Remy. Completely outsmarting AXT and too fast. What can he do in that situation? He's going to be the closest to both Raymail and Führer, but it seems like these two, they're just going to hold hands. Raymail down too fast. And Toby, he's going to steal that kill away, but GM Remy keeps themselves afloat. And for AKO Ultraman, it is just Lemon, but Raymail finds a kill, and he finds the wipe onto Anxiety, and it's a 2 versus 1. Lemon all alone against the members of GM Remy. Can he do it though? The glue up, buying a lot of time for Lemon. He's in the center. They're all ticking down. But guess what, Danielle? I said it, GM Remy with the booyah for game 2.
The curse is broken, but GM Remy, I think, especially after that last game, coming in second wasn't good enough. So they say, that's fine. We're going to swipe away this first booyah on Kalahari. Second game of the day. Remy, these guys are on fire today. And the curse is broken!
It's broken after 2 years. I can finally say I am not cursed. For 1 game.
For 1 game, and then I think it's going to go back to being cursed again.
Yes, and of course the players...
Oh my gosh.
Very happy with the result. They came so close.
Amazing 2 rounds.
Amazing 2 rounds. It was both AKO Ultraman and GM Remy.
Yeah.
With 2 consecutive rounds. Guess what? 1 apiece.
1 apiece. These guys are going to be sitting on the majority of the points this round as well. So I'm expecting these 2 teams to make big leaps and bounds on that leaderboard. I'm really looking forward to seeing where they are at, right? Because yes, teams in Group C, they haven't played yet, but a lot of the big boys are in Group B.
And we have broken away from the pattern of day number 1 where hard to get, Husna Kalasak Philippines, from at least from the Group A, Group B bout being in the front of the pack.
Yes.
Seems like Group B, They're vulnerable after all.
Well, okay, I did mention the day one curse. We always see this, that no matter what happens, what you see on day one is not concrete evidence as to who's going to be leading the leaderboard.
This kind of goes against the logic of real life, especially dating, right? Dating is like the first impression tells you everything, but for Free Fire, you can't use that. I'm going off tangent. My point is...
I don't understand this tangent, but go on.
Yeah, that's...
Can we just... Ski. Wow. Oh boy.
Yeah, but it was a breathtaking round. Even though AKO Ultraman didn't end up winning the Booyah, they did have that one highlight moment. Too fast with a 1 nade 4 kill.
Gosh, I want to see
reel.
that again.
Yeah, we only saw the kill feed, unfortunately, but it was good enough to leave an impression. And this was all made possible by a partner from Snapdragon Elite Gaming, being a part of this amazing journey. They've not only been here for Free Fire, but also other endeavors for other mobile titles, because winning matters. And when winning matters, this is where we will see the players play at their best. And of course, aside from that, we also have Monster Energy that allow everyone from the broadcast to the players behind the phones to unleash the beast. Check them out at www.monsterenergy.com/gaming.
I know the secret to GM Remy, but we'll speak about that a little bit later on. As to all of our viewers at home, if you're an avid fan on Discord, make sure you join our community right now for any more updates, more information. If you have any questions, you can ask us there as well. And I do believe we are going to go watch the highlights, see that sick grenade play again. And while we're watching the highlights, we are going to go for a bit of a break. 5-minute break, as always. If you need to, go to the toilet, grab your snacks, drinks, but make sure you're back for our next grouping. It's going to be Group B versus C. We'll see you after this. Yeah! Dude, that grenade was like so out of nowhere. I was like, the heck?
Shine with the blow. This is my time with it though. This is my time to be way at the top. Me and my guys gon' pay out the block. I don't look like boss. Time's right, and I know the sea is walking in a limelight. Promise you gon' wanna watch like a sci-fi. My guys are high rises, high tide. My crown if you come to my side. I pledge allegiance for lifetime. My squad connected like Wi-Fi. We grind and you see the highlights. This my life. It ain't a game now. Me and you, we ain't the same now. Lions coming out to play now. Opposition out the way now. Out of the way. You wasn't invited. Say you come to play. I dare you to try it. You don't wanna try me. Then step up to my team. Yeah, out of the way. Yeah, yeah. Out of the way. Yeah, yeah. Out of the way. It ain't a game now. Me and you, we ain't the same now. Lions coming out to play now. Opposition out the way now. Out of the way. You wasn't invited.
Unlike Red Dead Redemption, where I just
You just keep going. It's its own thing. Yeah. Oh, you don't worry about us.
I would just log in.
Don't worry about us. We're good.
I would just log in and gallop around, you know, lassoing people, tying them to train tracks,
What the fuck?
feeding them to crocodiles at Saint Denis.
I need to build a new PC because my old one with the graphics card is dead. But I think I need like 8,000 to build a decent one to last for like the next 5-6 years.
You want to do the intro this time? Welcome back to the Snapdragon Pro Series Free Fire Open Finals Day 2. I'm Husky alongside Dana Lee, and we're done with A versus B. Now we're getting ready for Group B versus Group C.
And I wonder how this changes up, right? Because whenever you get these group shifts, you also get playstyle shifts. And some teams do better in different groups. So what kind of change are we looking at here? Because we already know we started the day saying that Group B is going to be the big dogs. They've got all the top teams. They're going to do amazing. Did they do amazing?
For the opening rounds, not really. But for Group C, I do have a team that I want to keep an eye out for. We're going to go into that later on.
Is it your team?
My team. The team that I think is going to bring the heat
I think
to
I know
Group
who
B.
it is.
But we'll take a look at the round standings from that second match. It's GM Remy, of course, with that booyah, this time taking that first place spot with 19 total points. But AKO Ultraman aren't too far behind, 15 points in second place. And Anxiety closes in third place with 12.
Yeah, so a much more evenly distributed kill score this round, right? Like last round on Bermuda, we did see a lot of it being hogged up at the top. So now it's a little more spread out, but it's still not a good thing because if you take a look at the bottom, had a bit of a surprise knockout here. Orange Esports in 11th, technically 11 and 12. They're tied with GIX Project. But this is devastating for the team because they ended up in third place. I think it was third place last round. No, fourth place, sorry.
Fourth place, yeah.
They ended up in fourth place last round. They were sitting in second on that leaderboard. They were looking absolutely fantastic and on their way to making a comeback. And then this happens.
Yeah, it's definitely a heartbreaking exit, right? We saw them, I believe, getting hot drop at Shrine.
They got Kalahari'd. I think that's what happened.
They got Kalahari. That's one way to put it. I think Orange Esports definitely were not prepared. Though there were some moments where we looked at, you know, where Deco's was and we said, yeah, he has the high ground, he has the vantage point. Maybe this is a turnaround point for Orange Esports, but nope, was not able to utilize it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say it again. They got Kalahari'd. I think it's just Kalahari, it's one of those maps where it sometimes punishes aggression. It's not like Bermuda and even Purgatory, right? I feel like when you're playing aggressive on those two maps, it's not as easy to punish those teams. So very quickly, let's take a look at the stats here. This is our Booyah team from that last round. GM Remy, they came in second place in the first round, so this team is on fire. For that round though, 2,153 damage. This isn't as much as last round's MVP, right? We're looking at about 6,000 damage. Now it's only 2,000.
Very efficient, right? You do the damage, you get the kills.
You want the headshots.
The headshot. In fact, I think they actually should have gotten, I think, 1 or 2 more kills. One of them was stolen away by anxiety towards the tail end of the round, so it was very unfortunate for GM Remy. But overall, I think this round they were just really efficient in not only getting the knocks, but also confirming the kills.
Well, moving on to our next matchup. I think this is going to be pretty interesting to see how the teams from Group B adapt to Group C, and whether or not we actually see the teams in Group B take these next 2 rounds, because so far it's, I hate to say it, they're kind of underwhelming. But before that though, let's take a look at the brackets. Now, this one's a bit of a surprise. Who next Kalasag PH, they were the top of the leaderboard at the beginning of the day. Yes, they haven't done amazingly, but they are still in first place. But the biggest surprise here is GM Remy and AKO Ultraman. These 2 teams have rocketed to 2nd and 3rd place.
And GM Remy has probably the best number alignment that I've seen in any leaderboard. 36 place on the kills, 36 places
Even
point,
across the
36 kills, yeah. Mathematics, right? What's 36 times 2? 72.
Oh
yeah, it's quick maths. But hard to get in 4th place right now. Again, the round number 2 wasn't really as flashy as we expected. Orange Esports bumped down from 2nd to 5th just because of 1 round where they got knocked out early.
Yeah, that one was a bit of a shocker. Hopefully we do see a bit of a turnaround here, because I think there's a lot of expectations for Orange to do really well in the tournament. So it's only day 2. We've still got plenty of play days to go, but we'll see what happens in their next 2 matches. But something we also got to take a look at with the overall standings, it also gives us a good idea as to how these teams play. And so far you can see who's next colors like PH. These guys are kill hungry. They have 48 kills ahead. The next team to get the most kills is GM Remy, which is 36. They are 12 points ahead of the competition in kill points alone. That's not including if you want to throw in those placement points. Whereas if you look at GM Remy, even, but hard to get. They are the opposite of Kalasag, right? They've got all those placement points, but they're really lacking in the kill points. And I'm wondering, is that something you need to look at if you're hard to get? Because it seems like placement points are good, but don't you need to pick up on those kill points at some point to make up for the fact that it's sort of not quite there?
Yeah, and I think if the audience misses the old Divinity squad, which is basically the current hard to get, I think you can see that essence in them. You know, a very conserved team that doesn't really go for heaps of kills, but that's hard to get. Now we gotta shift our attention back to GM Remy, because they did win the 2nd round, so we'll pass the table over to Ikuto and Hajiya to give us an interview.
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, hello, Aguila. Okay, so my first question with you. A very consistent gameplay. First game, almost booyah. Second game, booyah. So, what actually happened compared to yesterday?
About yesterday, sir, about my connection, sir. Have error my connection. And I didn't get our dropping point. And then now we have a plan, and our plan is to get in that top 3 and almost a booyah, sir.
I see.
Ya, so apa yang dikatakan oleh Yuto kepada Aguila adalah apa perbezaan semalam dan juga hari ini, di mana semalam kita dapat lihatkan pasukan GM Remy ada masalah connection. Beberapa player mereka, terutamanya Aguila sendiri, dia ada masalah dari segi connection, dan ada beberapa strategi yang tak menjadi. So mungkin hari ini connection lebih baik dan juga plan mereka menjadi, dan menyebabkan mereka dapat lakukan yang terbaik untuk 2 game yang pertama mereka.
So GM Remy, Aguila, are you still with you?
Ya. So mungkin satu soalan.
Oh no, it looks like we may have lost Aguila there, unfortunately. But did you catch the gist of the interview?
The one thing that I think stood out to me more was them talking about they didn't really get their drop points sorted out yesterday. So it was a bit of a chaotic one for GM Remy, where they didn't really know where to go, and it was really hard to contest all these drop points. But they definitely cleaned up the act today.
You know what they did? it was a rehearsal yesterday. They just decided we're going to turn up. If anything goes wrong, it's fine.
Yesterday
We're
was
just,
a scrim.
It was.
It was a scrim.
Oh, goodness. I mean, technically, if you think about it, all these games can be considered scrims. But of course, we are going to jump into our next matchup. It's Group B versus C. As you can see here, Group B, we've got Team Valhalla, Who's Next, Kalasag PH, No Escape Revolt, Anxiety, GM Remy, and Hard to Get. We've got the big dogs here competing for these points in Group B. And who are the poor prey? It's going to be Group C.
I don't think Group C are necessarily.
I don't think they're ready.
I-
No. I really don't think they're ready.
Group C has predators. Though one thing that I must quickly point out is that we say that Group B are vulnerable, but guess who is still leading the charge? It's still Group B teams, right? You still WNX, GM Remy is still carrying the torch. Yeah, Hard to Get got bumped down a bit, but they were not too far behind. Even
Yeah.
Anxiety put up pretty good numbers. So you have 4 out of 6 teams from Group B that is performing at a very high level. And sure, Group C might feel intimidated.
Yeah.
But I think when we introduce Group C later on, I'm going to show you my favorite team from Group C to win it all.
I swear, if it's who I think it is, I'm just going to be, ha ha. It's so ironic. All right,
is.
Husky. It looks like we're going to get Group C on the screen. Who is it?
It's K9 Esports.
I knew
It
it!
is 100% K9 Esports.
I knew it.
Though we also have Legion Alpha, we have Ono Romeo, ORV Tyrants, Black Angel, Maharlika, and Divine. And Divine is a very interesting squad because when we look at the members later on, they are actually, I believe, ex-Sem9 back in the days. You have Mr. D, you have Shura, and all of those playing in the same squad.
Yeah.
We're basically taking a trip down memory lane, especially Mr. D, who has played competitively for a while. Though the results were not the prettiest, but he has always been around.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever not had Mr. D in a tournament, right? Like, this guy's everywhere.
Biggest content creator in Malaysia for Free Fire, and now to see him in the competitive scene as a leader, I think that's kind of the pinnacle of what you can achieve as a player.
Clearly, he's good enough to be here if he's always here, right?
Of course.
It doesn't matter if you're a content creator or not. If you can make it to every competitive event, you are the 1%. So that's the most important thing for them. But of course, we do need to take a look at the top team of the day so far. We do have a couple, but GM Remy is definitely one of them. They are in Group B. They're going to be playing in this next matchup on Bermuda. We have Ritus, we have Furher, we have Aguila, Raymel, and Unknown. These guys are on fire so far. But do they still have enough kindling to stay alight?
With Raymel around, I believe that they always have a spark left when you need someone to clutch. I mean, Raymel always does it, right? I say Raymel a lot, but we also saw Retools and the rest put up a decent fight. In fact, towards the tail end of Game 2, it was Raymel and Fura playing together as a duo to get the win for the team.
And we are going to take a look at the next team that we should be looking at here. This is our top 1 team that has played consistently up until this point. It's Who's Next Kalasag from Kalasag PH. We've got Twinkle, Let's Go Basic, Hawkeye, and Yeah Dope. Yes, these guys haven't been outstanding today, but my goodness, are they able to bring the fight in all these games? I don't think we've seen Kalasag drop a match to the point where they just get obliterated, right? They're always towards the top 4, top 5. They're always there.
Yeah, there's always something that they bring to the table, right? Like even if you try to take them out, they will bring your members with you. So I assume Hawkeye is on a mission somewhere,
He's scouting out the competition.
Yeah. What was the organization? Shoes. I don't watch Marvel, so yeah, we'll put that aside.
Stop it.
I want to talk about K9
All
Esports
right, go ahead.
now. Marquis, Normain, Blank, Wuxi, Pain, and Superman. And this is where we get to see Batman versus Superman
I knew this was coming.
for 2 rounds.
Well, I find it ironic because you and K9, you absolutely have something in common. Woof woof.
Woof woof.
Yes. But if anything, I'd love to see K9 Esports bite back in this next round, because if they are as good as you say they are, I'm expecting them to actually kick Remy off that top 3 placing.
They are as good as Blank says they are. And Blank did say that they are going to win, they are going to get booyah. In fact, this is what he said yesterday. We are going to get 4 booyahs today. And that means that they will win every single map. So I'm going to hold his word.
You need to hold your tongue because you already used all your luck.
K9 is going to win all 4 maps.
Oh no! Okay, curse has happened. Sorry,
if
chat.
I can bless GM Remy, I'm pretty sure I can bless K9.
Bless GM.
It doesn't really matter what I say, you know, because I think Blank is going to be held accountable for his words during the interview yesterday.
All right.
He has some confidence. I say some confidence. He has a lot of confidence.
We'll see if he's going to be all bite or all bark, right? So let's jump into our first game for the teams in Group C, because that is actually what's happening here, right? K9 Group C, this is their first game. Teams in Group B, they've already played 2 games. These are their last 2 before they are done for today. And let's see if this new grouping is going to shake things up a little bit, because it has been the domination of Group B.
It definitely has been. Even with poor rounds, it still doesn't take away the fact that Group B is the group of death, the overlord of the SPS Open Finals. Valhalla is the team that we talk about every now and then, but it's mostly them getting eliminated. So now we gotta savor the moment. We appreciate the time that we get to spend with the members of Valhalla. But on the other hand,
hang on, what is that on the western side of the map? Is that a hot drop that I see?
There's 3 different teams.
That's a hot drop. Husky,
GM Remy, Anxiety,
Hello.
and who's next? Kalasak Philippines.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, let's go.
Who's got weapons? Oh, let's go!
Has the weapon. Run!
No, there's no way you get out of this. I mean, if you're AXT, you're just like, we gotta get out of here.
But GM Remy kind of dodged a bullet, because we did see them overlapping, but now they're probably going to feel grateful that they are not caught in this situation. But let's go.
He missed.
Ends up going down to Barbara, so maybe there's still a chance.
Barbara?
Maybe Anxiety can still hold this game together. Chessman got brought back up. A group revive. Oh, Toby gets the dome, trying to get onto the roof. Toby, what a hero. Disaster certainly striking for WNX, and you said that even in the worst of situations they get something in return, but maybe this round will be different from the rest, because Barbara has just found number 3, and I think this is the one round that WNX walks away with absolutely nothing.
Oh,
Who's next?
my
Philippines are no
God.
more.
They are gone to Anxiety? That's the last team I would have expected to eliminate them, but oh my
Anxiety
goodness.
is in top 5, okay?
Okay, fine. Look, fine. But the thing is, like, Kalasak has played so well up until this point. I was expecting them to be able to take this fight a little bit more favorably. Maybe take 1 or 2 players down with them. Not have all 4 go down for nothing.
It did start off well, right? I mean,
Yes.
Deco's got 2 knocks.
I was like, we saw Let's Go get the shotgun, and I was
Let's
like,
Go, yeah.
that's it, right? I thought, that's it. Let's Go's going. He's got the shotgun. He's going to blow some faces up and get this four-man kill. Opposite.
This is one of the 7 cardinal sins called greed. I think
oh my God.
you could have went for the finisher, right? But sometimes when you're in a situation where you think that, okay, they don't have guns, we're just going to knock everyone down and we take them out at once. But what he did not expect was for Toby to have a gun. And it ended up
Oh my goodness.
poorly. Poorly is an understatement. It was catastrophic.
Oh, yes. I wish there was a word that was harsher than catastrophic, because I don't know if it can get any worse than that. But man, I mean, if you're Anxiety, firstly, you're going to be motivationally feeling great, right?
And just left the area, right? They're like, right, we're done.
They're just like, yeah, we're gone. Go. We got all the loot. We're on a high. We're going to keep going. And to be fair, I want to see, is this something that Anxiety can really play off of? Because we did mention this during the first couple rounds. Some teams do really well with momentum. And is Anxiety one of those teams? Because they have eliminated the top team on the bracket so far. Yes, they haven't gotten rid of Remy. But does it matter that they didn't eliminate Remy yet? They might be able to get much more loot. They'd be able to feel more confident, because there's something that I've noticed with some of these teams, right? Teams that fight with confidence, and you can see it when they're fighting with confidence, they do way better than teams that are very hesitant to make their moves, that aren't 100% sure in their decisions, because they hesitate, they think about things, you overthink it, right? And then that's
you have to commit to your decisions, right?
Yes.
Like
So the confidence really plays in.
Like, if I want to go for the rush, I'm doing it.
Yeah, you just got to go in. And if you die, it's like, it's free fire. Sometimes you got to die. But the confidence...
It happens, right?
Yeah.
So is the first step that's the hardest.
Speaking of steps, the step here is whether or not it's going to be...
ORV and GM Remy, all right?
I'm a bit worried. Ooh, Aguila actually lost a lot of health there.
probably has some health pack to work with. We see them throw all these ice grenades, and of course Ritu is there with the glue wall and the grenades. Getting lobbed out one after the other. Ritu's actually, they all running to the blue zone. They want to take this fight straight to ORB. And they forgot about Haystack from afar. Fura, the first one to get knocked down, but poor Ritus and Ray Meow, they have shown us that they can land those shots. And Ray Meow, the wonder boy that from the Philippines, has just single-handedly dismantled ORB.
It was a little costly though because they did lose Furrer in the process, but it's still 4 kills in their pocket. So it's not too bad. I think having 3 members on your team, it's way better than 2, right?
Yeah,
so
of course.
It's a small trade, but a very early trade.
It's like having 4 is better than 3, you know, having...
I mean, having 4 is the best, but yeah, it's extra bodies. Oh dear.
It's better by our logic. You know?
Well, the thing is, this is very uncommon for Remy, if you think about it, right? Because I think the first 2 rounds, the team was very quiet.
But that was what they do in the final circle against AQ Ultraman, right? Where they just ran in and tried to get those
But that's
kills.
final circle. It's different this early on because the first 2 rounds, the team was non-existent.
Yeah, confidence.
Confident. Okay, fine. Fine.
I feel like you think Aguila just purposely disconnected so he can prep for the round.
Oh my gosh.
Don't hold me accountable for that.
I'm not going to. I should though.
He obviously didn't do it on purpose, but you know, it could be a thought for conspiracy theorists out there.
Ooh, interesting. So we're gonna be sitting here with VHA. They're gonna.
Where did that kill come from? They actually got a kill. Wonder who that was.
Oh, here's your boys.
Oh, there we go. My boys, K9. Let's go. Woof, woof. To be fighting Legion, but Normain, we gotta talk about this though. Mickey has found the initial kill. K9 not really in the best spot to fight this, but they have to cross this bridge. This is the only way to head towards Plantation, and it is gate kept by the members of Legion. But Pain gets a good backstab onto Mickey, forcing a response from the members of from Legion to try and go for that backup, and see all those grenades getting lobbed up. Kush got Legion. Pan takes out Superman, and that is a catastrophe for K9. Pan should be able to secure this kill. And K9, they are down 2 members.
Oh boy, I think they got a little bit too greedy asking LGN for that road tax. I think they're going to be regretting it now. Maybe they have to pay them back. But oh my god!
And K9 receives unintentional support from Ono from afar. And they have to thank Better Links for that work. And unfortunately though, Mickey and Pan, they got knocked down, but they still got brought back up. So at the end of the day, Legion, they still stand, they still protect this bridge. And the question is, how much more does Ono want to push this issue though? Do they know that K9 is nearby? It seems like they don't have that info as of now.
No. Oh, looks like we actually got a drop here on Insane from Hard to Get. So on the other side of the map, it looks like Hard to Get are kind of struggling here. And yeah, we've got 2 players in K9 in that compound, and Pan. Ooh, got a couple shots there.
That K9 just has
King of the bridge.
Just wait it out. Just wait for Legion to be distracted or something.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of pinned, right? Because Legion have to go on either side of the bridge. They can't really go any other way. And there's a team waiting for them on either side.
Hard to get ready there.
Yeah.
K9, their hands are tied right now. It's either you brave the bridge and you fight 8 people.
Well, okay, you don't need to, right? Because if you see the circle, the bridge is actually, the circle is going towards the southern side. So if K9 can figure out a way to sort of pivot around and away from the bridge, but still going in the direction of the circle, it might be okay.
Yeah.
But it's still hard to get on the other side of K9.
Yeah, they were on the southern side.
Still kind of stuck there.
This is going to be a tough one for K9 to navigate. But in the meantime, seems like there's a temporary ceasefire between Legion and
For now.
Ono.
For now. Yeah. I think if anything, that circle might be the deciding factor as to whether or not this peace treaty is going to remain. Look at this.
This is rough for K9.
Oh,
you have 4
man.
full squads
And
in the vicinity.
yeah, and if you take a look at the area around them, you don't have anything to work with. No trees, no rocks, no bushes. So they kind of have to pray that everyone else is dead set on killing each other, and maybe they can sort of slip in somehow. But that's a big ask.
And and also you have to take into consideration that these guys probably don't have much resources
Yeah.
after the initial exchange with Legion.
They can't loot anywhere, right? They're stuck where they are.
There's no loot. There's nothing that keeps them topped up. But we are going to let that sit for a while, because right now I think RV is probably going to make contact with Divine on the other end. But BA is also around the corner. Seems like RV will probably run into them first.
Yeah, it looks like they do know that a team is over there. But I think there's a bit of a hesitation here, right? Like, it's a bit of a run to try and engage them in that compound. Again, defender's advantage. It's way easier to shoot people running at you than the other way around. So, I don't know. I think they're just seeing who's going to play who's going to play chicken first. Who's going to make the first move? Maybe you can try and punish them as they're trying to run into the new circle or relocate, for example.
RV probably have to be a bit more alert, right? We see anxiety now on top of the hill.
I don't suspect any of these teams to know anxiety's up there either, right? Like,
I
they're
don't
so focused on each other that there's no way they would see this.
Well, good news is that the circle probably still favors them. Well, actually doesn't favor BA anymore. We see no escape. Revolt getting knocked by the members of Anxiety. Toby getting a first kill. Anxiety is actually very, very far out, so no escape. Revolt ends up putting themselves in a very, uncomfortable position. G and Remy at the same time as well. They did lose 2 members early on, but now they are getting hunted down by Valhalla. Momuki trying to chase down Ray Meow, but we see this entire line of Glue Wall protecting Ray Meow, but Ray Meow, he has had enough. He wants to take this fight. Momuki runs straight towards him. And you see who's going to win this out. Good time center from Ray Meow, and of course, it's Ray Meow who wins. Aguila takes a Dookie from afar. Again, the duo from the side of GM Remy just putting in so much work, and suddenly Valhalla are only down to 2. Aguila has to face this grenade, but he has the time turner to prevent damage.
Oh man, and look at the backstab. Can they kill off Aguila? They looks like they will get the drop off there. So 1 player left here for GM Remy. Can Raymiel turn it around?
Yep. And Raymiel, he has been the wonder child all along, but this time
he's got 7 glue walls.
It will be
He's got 3 grenades.
And it's 3 grenades.
I think he can do it.
1 versus 3. Just find those isolated fights. That is the key for Raymiel to win this one. But everyone for Valhalla has some sort of cover to work with. As we look at that mini screen on the top left, it's a glue wall, and of course there is a couple of structures.
Grenade.
This,
there we
power
go.
plant. Raymiel trying to flush them out. Melo actually gets tagged a bit, but Raymiel is getting flanked. Raymiel actually knocks Ariel down with the grenade. My goodness, this guy cannot miss. And Melo now forced to bring his buddy back up. But while that was happening, Raymiel knocks Ariel with the ice grenade. He is the jack of all trades, the master of punches. And look at all of that utility being tossed out.
Okay, the grenade doesn't land.
And Dookie is like, I gotta get Raymiel out of this game, but Raymiel is relentless. And Raymiel with another shot. This guy just cannot lose. And this is gonna be bad news because Dookie is already down. Raymiel, 80 health left, still have 4 health packs. He's gonna use that glue wall, buy some time for himself. They try to puncture that
Melo has nothing
defense,
left.
and they want to take him out, but Melo, he's running dry, and Raymiel knows that he probably has this in the back. No more glue walls, no more grenades. They only have 4 more left.
And Valhalla
on
have to
Arion,
move. Look at the
Valhalla
circle.
is getting pushed by the circle. Raymiel holding on for the longest time ever. Now, this is the final task. Final task for Valhalla. They need to get through Raymiel.
Oh my gosh. And K9 Esports on the other side of the map actually getting eliminated, unfortunately. But Raymiel, again, okay. Husky, do you think he's going to make it? Hard to get.
He did tag them with another ice grenade. Raymiel starting to run low on their resources. 1 glue wall, 2 medkits, no grenades. 2 versus 1. Raymiel, can he do this though? The sidestep, the stutter stepping.
He's peeking.
Making sure the counter straight from Raymiel. So far, so good. Buying space between him and the members of Valhalla. And all he needs is to get a knock. But Melo finally closes it out. But it took them so long to make that happen. And meanwhile, Divine takes on Anxiety. And No Escape Revolt did go out in 7th place, and Anxiety starting to lose the members. Chessman out, Barbara down, Kanoho and Toby left alive. But we have seen Toby and Kanoho being the clutch master. Mr. D under fire from Kanoho, but he does have all the tools to keep himself safe. Kanoho trying to find the angles from on the side of the fence, and Mr. D basically barricading himself with all of these glue walls. But Barbara still gets the knock on Zanubi, and Anxiety was able to bring Barbara back up. Divine goes down, and they ascend up to the heavens.
Oh man, Anxiety, they just had the perfect surround on Divine. There was literally nowhere to go. Mr. D was so focused on having to cover his backside that he wasn't able to participate in the fights. The rest of his team got eliminated. Tough game. Really tough game. Yeah. We are down to our remaining 5 teams. 17 players are left on the map, and so far... Oh, hang on. We might lose Valhalla here if they're not careful. They won't lose Arian, though.
They actually have almost nothing left, right? After dealing with Raymiel.
Yes, Melo had nothing. No glue walls, no healing, no grenades.
Arion only has 2 health packs. That is not enough for them to deal with all of these other teams. I mean, we are hearing all of these gunshots. Seika now hiding behind the tree. They just got done with K9, but now they have to deal with Ono. I mean, BA also getting fired upon. Sanctus trapped out in the open with multiple members. Sanctus, what? A 360 turn, but ends up going down. Battlings will take that kill, but he did do some damage to Jeb. But thankfully for Ono, they bring Jeb back up, and this circle is super deadly, especially for Legion. They're all trapped on an island.
Yep, and look at Ono. They are in the perfect spot to just comfortably sit in that circle. So they basically have free reign for all the other teams that are trying to scramble into that next safe zone. And look at it. Half the safe zone is also in the water. You only have one entry point.
Yeah, if they swim, they're toast.
That's not an entry point, nah.
Like shooting fish in a barrel.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, Valhalla is in a really tough spot. Look at it, Arion, nothing left.
Oh, at this
Mellow.
rate, I'm worried that Valhalla is going to return to Valhalla.
But you know, if you want to go to Valhalla, you have to fight like a man, right? Fight like a true warrior. That's one of the prerequisites. Well, they are trying, and Arion, yeah, he stood no chance. You can say the same for Mello, but you know, circumstances have led them to this point. It was never meant to be. And Ono walk away with 3 kills thus far. So far, they are holding up pretty well. Manflang was able to find and take out Mickey. Another elimination on the board for Ono Romeo, a team that yesterday did not have any presence at all, but today it felt like a different side. Anxiety is going to be the next one. Kano gets tagged by the nade. Oh, the Blues are pushing it forward. 4 HP stands alive. That he does not have time to get the help back, so Barbara is going to rush in and open up the building. Imran gets Toby down, and Ono, they do have the man advantage, and Anxiety thus far is not winning the fight, but Ono needs to get out of this, and they do have Battlings with their healing, but Seika from behind tags Jeb, and suddenly it is just Barbara.
Look at him, his
separated
squats in.
by a couple of glue walls.
Can he backstab? Do they know he's there?
It's a 3 versus 1 versus 1. Ono are in the best
I don't
spot.
think they know he's there.
And they found him. They just found him. Seika, what have you left? Imran knocked down by the blue.
Oh, they're gonna use the car.
And they can't save him. Oh boy, Jeb.
Seika!
Trying to run over Seika.
They're trying.
The
they missed.
slow motion movie style Seika. Oh,
They
weaving,
missed.
bobbing in and out. The time turner. Seika. Oh, it's that one. But from behind, Seika puts out the glue wall. This is still winnable though, but he doesn't have help.
Oh.
And he just cannot do it. The finishing line is so close, but it's Ono that crosses it.
Oh my goodness. What a round for Oh No Romeo. These guys are going to be so happy after their performance. I was sitting there thinking, is this just going to be one of those moments where it's like, oh no, oh no, oh no, no. Because they had such a good position all through that late game, right? They had the perfect compound that was basically in the safe zone for the entire time. They had all 4 players alive. They basically had a heyday catching all these players filtering in towards that final circle. So it just makes sense for Ono Romeo to get this booyah. Fantastic play. I mean, I want to see some smiles here. Look at that big smile.
Man flank.
Beautiful.
I can't see man flank. Hello,
You can see the corner of his face.
Well, X previously from Blacklist International, one of the toughest veterans that we have from the Malaysian scene. In fact, I want to quickly draw a parallel, right? We were talking about who's next, Kalasak Philippines being the team that keeps getting kills, even though they are not the best in placements. You can kind of draw that resemblance to Blacklist International, kind of like Geek Fam. There's one more team that I had in mind, but it slipped. But generally, I think Blacklist is one of the perfect examples of a team that doesn't really get booyahs all the time, but they win most of the gunfights. Consistency.
Right? That's our favorite word on this broadcast. If you follow any Free Fire esports, you got to know the C word.
It's AJ's favorite word.
It's our favorite word. We always use it.
It's our favorite word.
I
got it from AJ. I think he poisoned me.
I think it was AJ as well.
It is AJ, 100%. But of course, what's also consistent is the continuous support from our partners. So we got to give our gratitude, express our thanks to Snapdragon Elite Gaming when winning matters, because these guys have been with us for the longest time, and not just for Free Fire, but also for other mobile titles, Free Fire being one of it. And at the same time, we also have Monster Energy, allowing everyone to unleash the beast within them, whether on broadcast or in-game. Check them out at www.monsterenergy.com/gaming.
Yeah, if it wasn't for them, I don't think we'd have all this energy to be able to cast all these games, because Free Fire, it's a very hype game. Speaking of hype, if you are looking to follow some more of the tournament, make sure to join our Discord group for more information. If you have any questions, feel free to ask us there. We'll have somebody in the group to assist you if there are any questions, or maybe you want to ask us a question. I think we'd be more than happy to answer any from the chat. Now, I think we are going to go for a small break here, just so the teams can get ready for the next map, which is Kalahari. It's a bit of a big one, so I think everyone needs to prep. That's going to include us as well. So as we go for a quick break, enjoy these highlights.
no beef, you freezing up. That's y'all's team, cause we really lose no.
I'm really vibing to the song. The
I
song
know.
sounds so good.
Can we turn the song back on? I think
Yeah.
it's perfect.
Yeah, I would ask for the playlist later on. Like I would listen to that song whenever I wake up. Got my number, don't call me. That's something I would say to my ex-girlfriend for sure. But you know, I put her aside. She doesn't matter. We are here. This is what matters. Snapdragon Pro Series Free Fire Open Finals. Again, I'm Husky alongside Dan Lee. We have 3 more games left to go and 1 more between Group B and Group C.
And we are technically halfway through the night as well, right? So it's for some of these teams, it's an uphill climb still, but I think for teams in Group B, it's a downhill climb because they are down to their last game.
For Group B, yes.
Yes, that's what I said.
Oh.
You're clearly not paying attention. Okay, I think you have to renounce your name from Husky to something else. What animal is deaf? It's I'm kidding.
I'm pretty sure.
Let's take a look at the round standings before Husky gives me any kind of snap back here. All right, so from that previous round, we have Oh No Romeo grabbing not only the Booyah, but also 7 kills under their belt, which means they finished the round in first place with 19 points. But Anxiety, so close. They actually ended up in 3rd place, but got 10 kills, which brings them up to 18 points. That's actually 4 points over Legion Alpha.
Anxiety having a way better day 2 compared to yesterday. This felt like a completely different outlook. Towards the tail end of day 1, we were seeing like Toby and Chessman kind of putting up some numbers, some great performances, but it wasn't enough to carry them through. Today, I'm happy with what they've achieved, though we look at it hard to get, struggling a lot.
No, not just that though. Look at all the big dogs
the
in
big
Group
dogs,
B, right? GM Remy, who has played fantastic up until this point. I mean, it's not bad where they
9
placed.
points isn't too bad.
But this was a bit of a shocker, I guess, considering they played so well for those first 2 games. But the other ones that we're a bit worried about here now is hard to get. 2 points, not so bad. Who's next? Kalasag PH was a bit of a surprise this round because this is the first time we've seen them bomb out a round.
Yeah, and it was a round where they actually got off to a great start, right? I mean, Let's Go basically led the charge, the tip of the spear for the team. But for some reason, they were not able to confirm anything. And the team that took them out is Anxiety. They ended up in 2nd place. Now, how poetic. K9 Esports also not off to a hot start. Only 1 point. That was from placement. They were wiped out by Legion Alpha while they were trying to cross the bridge into Plantation.
So we're already seeing some major changes on this leaderboard just for Game 1 of B versus C. I'm really interested to see what kind of changes we're looking at going into this next map, which is going to be Kalahari. But before that, let's take a look at some stats. Oh no, I do believe we're going to be skipping those stats. But again, Kalahari, what kind of changes are we going to be looking at here? Because different play styles. Are there any teams here that you feel do really well on Kalahari that we should be looking at?
Anxiety, and I mentioned this in Game 2, right? They are the only team that is consistently dropping a Refinery, and I think they are going to do the exact same thing. Go Refinery at the start, depending on where the circle progresses towards, then they will make the decision. And I think so far they've been making decent calls, right? Because one of the challenges in dropping Refinery first or taking control of the area early is you don't know how to transition if the circle moves away. I think Anxiety have found a solution to that problem.
Yeah, and I think another thing you kind of have to think about if you do drop in Refinery, right, is that if you're going to camp there all game, you're likely not going to be fully equipped going into that late game, assuming it's going to be a Refinery final circle. So if you compare equipment between Refinery and any other team that's coming from the outside, you're potentially going to be under-geared. You're not going to have as many glue walls. You're probably going to be lacking grenades. You probably don't have many healing packs. So how do you sort of combat that if you're just going to be sitting on Refinery? Like, do you leave Refinery at some point, maybe scout around those nearby compounds and just sort of pick something up and go back? Like, how does that work exactly?
Most teams that we have seen just camp there and probably get snipes from afar, but those snipes, even if converted into kill, doesn't convert into resources, right? So what we saw Anxiety did was something that most of the time is ill-advised, which is they spread out all of the members across the whole
We did see that,
structure. We saw that, right?
Yeah.
Anxiety sent everyone out. They spread their manpower thin, but they were able to cover a lot of area. And I think it actually did work well, at least for the first time we saw them. But this is the second and final Kalahari round for them, and finally we get to see the stats of Anxiety. 5,056 damage, and it all resulted in 10 kills.
Yeah, these are the numbers I was looking forward to. I was expecting like, 2,000 damage in that last round. Bit low, but here we go. 5,000, this is something that I was expecting. 10 kills to their name. Anxiety, looking fantastic so far, but is it going to continue going into this next round? Overall standing, so every team has played thus far, but teams in Group B have a point advantage because they have played 3 games compared to the rest of the competition. So as you can see up top, we've got Who's Next Kalasag still sitting in first place, but because they had no points, they did not move, which means the gap between them and GM Remy is getting very, very small.
Yeah,
3 points small.
Just 3 points separating these two, but because of the lead that they got in day 1, I think Who's Next Kalasag Philippines have a lot more breathing room to work with. But now the space is a bit more tight. Anxiety,
Yeah.
3rd place, 80 points, hard to get, squeezing in 4th. AQ Ultraman also tying it up in 4th place. Orange Esports in 5th, and K9 Esports, because of that rough start, kind of stuck at 7th place.
I'm wondering what kind of shake-up we could be seeing in this next round because, again, the point gap, it's not big, but you can start seeing the gap really get out there, right? So I think we started the day with like 70-something points, and then in 9th place, we're sitting at about 48-ish, I think. So it was a pretty small gap.
It was a pretty small gap, but
yeah, it's getting a bit bigger now.
yeah, I was telling Victor yesterday that, by the end of day 1, we're starting to see some sort of hierarchy, like which team is dominating.
It's only week 1. You hold your horses.
We have no week 2, Danny.
No, week 1.
No, we only have 4 days. It's no week 2.
I still think it's...
Yeah, but well, the one team that is very consistent is Who's Next Kalasag Philippines, right? If we just not look at the previous round, I think overall they have been the most consistent team in terms of at least getting those kills in. They're making it up with some of their placement points, which they did lack in day 1. But I think today there was a bit more emphasis on trying to place higher in each round.
Yeah. I mean, I noticed that with some of these teams, especially with today's games, right? We're starting to see, as you said, more emphasis on placements. I think teams are a bit scared to try and get those kill points because we know that kills can get punished very easily.
Yeah.
Placements, you can still get punished for placements, but I don't think it's as easy to punish someone because they're probably expecting to get jumped on. Whereas if you're playing as the aggressor, one wrong move and your entire team just gets eliminated.
Yeah. And I have an economy analogy for that, right? So going for kills is like investing in the stock market. You don't know if it
The
crash.
stock can crash, yes.
Yeah. But if you go for placement points, it's like putting your money
in the bank.
In a bank. It's there.
It's slow, okay, but you know something's happening.
It's guaranteed. You'll get something.
Unfortunately, placements are not 100% guaranteed because we have seen some teams focus on placements and then they just get eliminated and then it's like, oh.
What if Battle Royale is actually kind of a stock market?
I don't do stocks, so I'm not very good with this
Where,
conversation.
like, because right, you have to play, right? You have to play for placements and kills, and that means that you are always taking risks. So if it crashes, you get lesser points.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm going with this.
No, I mean, I never got into finance, so that's
Me
probably
neither.
why I'm doing esports.
I have not studied finance. Number is the bane of my existence.
I studied games art and design. I have nothing in regards to like business, finance, none of the good life skills. I learned how to make games.
I studied broadcast, so nothing relating to finance, but it relates to what we're doing right now.
I don't know how making video games made me come here too. It's a bit crazy.
So I always argue with, well, I not always argue, but I used to have this argument with my parents, especially my mom. My mom is like,
Ooh.
why aren't you that good in mathematics? You know, like you should know how to
'Cause
count
you're
this,
Asian?
calculate.
I'm sorry.
So I said, here's my counter argument, right? So people out there, you can use this counter argument if your parents ever ask, why aren't you good in mathematics? Just a disclaimer, I'm not responsible for the repercussions, but I said, the only thing that I need to know how to count is cash.
Just count my money.
So what I did was I took out a couple of like 1 ringgit bill and I was like, 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
And I got grounded
gosh.
that night because I tried to flex on her.
You got grounded because you tried to make your money fly. I'm sorry.
You use my money against me? Yeah.
No one heard that.
That's the caffeine speaking.
No, I think my cat. I'm on a downhill incline, right? So I'm just chilling. But I'm sorry. I wanted to try and get like some punny stuff out there, and I finally did it. So I'm happy with myself. We are still waiting for this next match to get started. For anyone that's just joined the broadcast, we are going to be jumping into Kalahari. And it's also for teams B versus C. And I guess we are still waiting, so we're going to be doing some other stuff, aren't we, Asku?
We're going to let you guys in on the conversation. And it's actually very easy. Just go onto your social media. If you have any posts, any comments, any memes that you want to post, and it's related to this, use the hashtag Snapdragon Pro Series to be involved in this discussion. And you
Share
might
with
have
us
a chance to
your
feature the
memes.
stream.
No,
Share
no,
with
no.
us.
Share the memes. Okay,
Share
we
the
want to
memes.
see some memes. I want to see some very good memes.
Memes are the best.
Memes
I
are
feel
the
like
best.
meme is like the modern way of communicating with people. Very minimal words, but it gets the message across.
I think it's a bit hit or miss. But speaking of hit or miss, let's see if our viewers' predictions are going to be correct. If you haven't already, make sure to cast your vote in the Twitch chat and let us know who you think is going to be winning this next round. It's teams in Group B versus C. They're going to be facing off in Kalahari. It's the final game here for teams in Group B. We've had a lot of major teams in this group. And so far against Group C, they really struggled. I have to say, I'm very surprised. I thought they would do a little bit better.
I thought so too, because it's kind of a shift. Because yesterday, Group C actually did struggle against Group B. And Group B was this towering monstrosity that dominated everyone. But today, at least from match number 3, Group C felt like they had a better chance against Group B.
Yeah.
And from day 1, Group C actually was better than Group A.
Yeah.
So we're starting to see that shift in dynamics.
We see the
food chain?
I guess so. I think it's from Lion King, the reference I'm trying to find out.
The
The
hierarchy?
circle of life. There you go. The circle of life. But I think it's interesting that you get that power dynamic, right? Because like the groups technically counter each other.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah. And then how that dynamic works out, it's like who's going to be getting the points at the end of the day? Like who benefits the most out of that circle of life? And I think so far it's been Kalasag, but I don't know. After that round, I'm a little bit worried about this team because they really struggled against Group C.
Yeah, but from the sample size, it's just one bad round. So perhaps hope it's just one bad round.
It's Kalahari.
It's Kalahari. We'll see if they get Kalahari again because they did super well. And
I'm expecting a hot drop. I sense.
all right. So
my
make your
spidey
call.
senses.
Who is gonna hot drop who?
I don't know yet. You don't ask
Good
me that
job.
question.
Good job, Danny.
I just want to see some hot drops, okay? Just seeing all these bodies fly. Fly, my pretties, fly! And
So far, nothing yet.
nah, I think everyone's going to play. I think if you're in Group B, you'd want to play safe for this final round, right? It's your last game of the day. You want to end on a high. You want to get those points.
Anxiety didn't go for refinery.
Oh, but if they did...
Oh boy, they're turning around.
Oh, hang on.
Kind of stranded out in the open. This is not looking good. They are surrounded by Divine and Valhalla.
They don't know yet. Maybe they do, though. I think they're doing what you were talking about a little bit earlier on, right? Like how Anxiety, they always drop into Refinery. They want to do a little bit of looting and head to Refinery. But they're going to get a rude awakening because, I mean, as you can see, Refinery has a new tenant.
I mean, if we look at the map right now, Anxiety is caught in the middle.
I'd have anxiety being here.
They're surrounded by like what, 1, 2, 3. They're surrounded by 6 teams.
They're going to need a therapist coming out of this.
Yeah, I think that's the worst thing, right? Like you loot everything and you have to pick a fight instantly. There's nowhere else you could go unless
what
they
options
decide.
do you have, right?
You remain there and try to defend the site, but this is not really a good place to hold. So I am very worried for Anxiety right now. I'm not really sure if this is because they realize that ORV is going for Refinery, so they let it go. But it definitely puts them in a worse position. And even so with this circle, because this will force at least 2 teams to pass by them. And they have this cliff behind them that they need to get through as well. I mean, Kanoho is going on scouting duty.
Jampong doesn't know either.
So they send out a recon party, a recon individual.
Does he know? No, he doesn't. Yeah, so Jampong's scouting, but yeah, Kanoho, he knows he's here. He can hear the footsteps.
You know what would be funny? Like all these pet companions, it's only visible to the player, right? But can you imagine that if other players that are not on your team can see it?
I'd feel bad for everyone that has birds. Because the birds like fly above you, right? And if you hide behind a wall, if it's a low wall, they're going to be able to see the bird.
We just remove stealth entirely. You know, we just remove all of these.
No joke, I think it'll be pretty interesting to have one round where everyone can see where everyone is.
Okay.
And it would absolutely change the way that you play because firstly, you're going to have vision on who's going to be coming at you.
Is it a permanent thing throughout the round, or is it just
I think
for
it's
a period?
permanent. No, I think it's permanent. Like, how crazy would it be to know who's coming at you? Because I think you would have anxiety playing like that. Because you would know who's around you, but you don't know if they focused on you.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be busy on other teams, right? You can't focus on everybody.
My idea is give them like the first 3 minutes of like map pack, and afterwards you revert it.
Yeah, that
So,
works too.
yeah, based on the initial intel. In fact, I think ORV has already made contact with Anxiety. We saw Apnoy, I believe, taking a couple of shots. And look at Anxiety. They actually at the refinery. They forced Jampong off the structure. Somehow they brute force their way and they take control of one part of the structure.
I think if anything, you got to give props to Konoha. I'm pretty sure he was the one that was able to get that push going. But poor Jampong, though, he's pincered. I don't think there's any way for him to get out unless they eliminate Anxiety.
Yeah, this is like, you know, Anxiety, they approach the members of ORV and they just drag them out of their car and be like, get out!
Get out of my car!
They get out of the car! Get out of the house! Get out of the refinery! Look at Jumpo! Oh my god, he's
Oh!
down! Barba doing the job, and this should be the first kill. ORV are not in any position
They can't get the res off.
to save. Yes, he's dead.
Yeah, there's no way they get the res.
What a maneuver from Anxiety, right? From overtaking the refinery, and this was kind of what we thought would happen if Anxiety took over refinery and spread out their numbers. This is one of the ways to take control of the area. You overpower them with numbers.
Oh, but we got the first kill on the other side of the map, actually. So Jampong won't be the first one to be eliminated. He'll be the second one, likely. And here we go. Yeah, so if you're ORV, there's just no way you get that res off. You're giving away your whole team. So they're going to hold their place for now. But what's the plan here if you're ORV? Like, do you just abandon? Just give it away to Anxiety?
But you can't leave the refinery entirely, like, right? Because you have to hold on certain areas. Oh boy.
Man flanks down. They get the pickup there. Yeah. But look at this.
It's only Superman in front. If GM Remy is actually nearby.
I wonder if they even know GM Remy is there. Because you can see they're quiet. I think they want a vulture.
Yeah. Well, K9 is leaving because Normie just went down. So again, a start that did not favor K9. Very uncharacteristic movements from K9. But then again, yesterday they also had a very slow round 3 and 4. Which kind of probably is just the momentum that hasn't ramped up. In fact, Blank again losing a gunfight. Pain and Superman, they're rushing in. They want to go for the free pickup. If they can take down Imran, it's actually one free point for them. Superman's going to patch himself up, so Pain's going to go in head first, dive straight into the infested territory of ONO, and Superman was able to snuck one onto Imran. Meanwhile, on the other end, do see RV taking some hits as well.
Yeah, it's 3v3 now.
And K9 is a more winnable position. Grenade thrown out by Blank.
Nah, that's not going to connect.
Yeah. ONO does have a better vantage point on that high ground, so K9 probably not going to push forward.
Blank's in trouble though. I mean, look at his inventory. He's only got that one health kit. He doesn't have any glue walls. He can't advance.
His armor is one hit away from completely being busted.
X-Fix. Do they know where he is? No.
Not yet. Oh, hey.
Surprise?
Oh, there we go.
Surprise?
Oh,
surprise? Oh, he missed all of them.
He runs away.
He missed all of them.
No way.
Oh, he got it. He got it.
I did take X-Fix a bit too longer than should have, but still got the kill. BA getting out of that predicament. As WNX again fighting against RV, we have multiple fights happening across the map, and RV are only down to just Senju. WNX off of a very abysmal match 3 now comes back in hot. They're racking up those numbers, and unfortunately for Senju, this jail cell is probably the last.
I think this perfectly describes how he feels right now. He just feels caged in.
He feels trapped.
Oh, he's definitely trapped. There's no way he's getting out of this. Unless they don't check the... Are they not going to check the basement? No?
They should.
Maybe they think he ran away.
They're slowly combing the area.
Hang on. Hang on. Hang on.
Of course, the players can't hear this, but from our perspective, we are hearing everything.
Yeah. Hang on.
So it does sound scary.
Oh,
oh.
Spot him out. No, they didn't check!
Turn
They
around!
didn't check! Oh, they didn't check!
Oh, they...
Senju.
No way. No way, no way.
Bro.
No way Senju just survives that. No way.
Bro! You know this feels like a game of Amnesia? Like, you're in the corner and you are so scared you're gonna get killed off by the killer. Oh my god.
That was me playing like zombie games. They actually did not see him.
Bro, that's like amnesia. Actually, that's probably the better game.
I did think I found him.
Did they?
Ah, there we go.
Oh, he revealed himself.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. Ah, okay, right.
No. Man, he revealed himself. Maybe he thought they already left and then he was going to make the getaway and they heard him.
Twinkle checked that. I think it was forced to fight.
It was so close.
It's a good attempt.
Yeah.
Props to...
Hey, sometimes you just got to try hiding, right? Like, you never know if the enemy's going to fully scout the zone.
You know what they say, that the best hiding spot is in plain sight.
Yeah, actually.
He technically wasn't hiding. You know, he wasn't like tucked in a corner.
He was just in a prison cell. I mean, who would check there normally?
Yeah, who would check the last?
Yeah, the very last cell.
Like human nature is that, you know, if we comb through the majority of whatever samples that we have and we just make the assumption, we just round off the number.
Yeah.
That's what inspired the rounding off of numbers.
Yeah, you miss out on all the little details.
You know, I'm just making it all up, right?
No, I'm going along with it. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, God, Husky, you make my job hard.
No, I think I'm doing a pretty good job.
Are you? I don't know. Why are you speaking for me? All right, as you can see on the right-hand side, we do have the points for the team so far. And as you can see, hard to get. They do have 3 points, but they are only sitting with 2 players remaining, which is a little dangerous at this point of time.
Yeah. But I think it's definitely worth it if we look at the team that they fought. It was G and Remy.
Yeah.
So they did take out 3 members of G and Remy. We can be pretty much sure that that team will not be making... will not have much presence. Although, I say that Ray Meow is suddenly getting flushed out by hard to get. Oh, he's taking shots from multiple angles. And even with 11 medkits, I don't think Ray Meow can get out of this. You have B on the other side. Finally caught him out. Hard to get, finishing the job. In fact,
Wait,
it's a K9.
Was that K9? I was going to say.
K9 is stole it away.
Whoa.
We take those.
Yeah, you speak as if you're on that team.
Yeah, I am.
I said you had something in common, not that you were actually on the team. All right, fine.
Yeah, have you not heard of like people who idolize a team or like an individual? Like, oh, we have the same hairstyle, and hence we are one. It's just fanatic logic.
All right. I'll take your word for it.
I'm not one of it. I'm just saying this is what I understand.
Yeah. Well, actually, if you take a look at the map, we do have a couple teams right on top of each other, right? We have W and X right next to DBN, and I think we're gonna lose Let's Go here, but Let's Go, can he make anything happen? It's 1 versus 4.
Alright, let's go. What you have
Let's
left in the tank? Run, my friend. Divine is on his tail. Mr. D and Cole. Oh boy, let's go. Okay, that's one down. Not out. Yeah, my Divine. A quick cleanup crew.
Not much you could really do there. I mean, 1 versus 4. Unless you isolate them, there's just no way.
Another slow round, right? They got knocked out in 10th place. Well, Valhalla is out. Mickey took care of all of them by himself.
Wow. Meantime, though, on the other side of the map, we are looking at a couple of other teams in trouble, and it looks like oh no, literally in an oh no situation here. Only 2 players remaining, and look at this LGN just raining hell from that rooftop.
Yeah, Legion holding this command post, you know, with an iron fist.
And look at Jep, there's no way they pick him up.
And you see Kanoho from Anxiety, he actually snuck in from that northeastern side. And I don't think Legion knows about it. They are very focused on Ono right now.
Yeah, they really want Jep.
As I say, Jep is pretty much gone.
Yeah. I mean, what can you do, though? Like, there's no way you pick him up. You just got to leave him bleeding. Yeah. Give something away. Maybe you can get away in time. Because it's not the full roster.
Yeah, you sacrifice one guy to increase your chances of winning. Oh, Anxiety.
Yep. Oh, Insane.
Oh, Kanoho, he just saw Insane. They run into each other. Insane
oh my gosh. One shot.
Completely surrounded Kanoho. Back this turn, but it seems like the job is pretty much done. Shira also caught out the backstab from Chessman. Takes it out hard to get. Oh no, Romeo.
Wow.
Finally taken out by Legion.
The
Alpha.
big teams are going down, Husky.
All of them.
Big teams.
Except for K9, the only big team that remains. Well, I guess we should include Anxiety.
Yeah, I was going to say
now.
Anxiety is also still around. So we haven't lost all of the big dogs. And I think out of all the teams, it's the top 3 so far that you really want to look out for, because they've got all 4 players still alive. K9, I mean, they're down 1 player, so they're kind of handicapped at this point of time, but
oh boy,
depending on their position, they might lose another player.
Gotta run into Legion Alpha, and it's not looking too good. The blue zone is making their life insanely hard. Superman somehow downs Pan, and Legion will have to try and rescue him. You can see for the side of Pain, a grenade getting thrown now. Superman finally getting a kill. Kushgod almost going down to that grenade, and K9 finds a crack that they can slip through into command post.
Yeah, they're breaking into that final circle. So I think if anything, this has to be the redemption arc for K9, right? They open the day a little bit slow. They do want to get those points in to try and climb back in on that leaderboard. And if anything, placing high on Kalahari is the first step, right? You got to get at least step 1, which is get kills, get placements, try and get back on that leaderboard. It's still going to be a tough one because we're looking at 6 teams with 19 players total remaining. That's still a lot.
Yep. So means that a lot of teams are still pretty much decked out with members.
It could be any. Honestly, this could be anyone's
Oh
game.
boy, Seika, he jumped onto that watchtower only to get spotted out, and suddenly he finds himself trapped. I mean, Superman, Blank, and Pain, they're also holding up in this command post.
This is so risky, Husky. I think we always have this discussion where any teams that occupy a watchtower with their entire team is at risk of just getting grenaded down, right? Like it's so easy. Just throw a grenade, you take a whole team.
Grenade launcher, ice grenade, all of these AoE damage.
It's so scary.
Circle does favor, anxiety a bit more. I mean, we see LGN also. Divine has coming from behind, and in this case, they have to go through K9.
I mean, they've got a lot of things to work with, right? They've got a lot of crates, a lot of things for cover, so it's not going to be easy for K9 to take them out. And the thing you have to worry about, if they can get under K9, that's when you're going to start seeing the grenades go in.
And I think they have to do it, right? There's no other way.
Do they have any, though? Is there any grenades?
Oh, Shura has one.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, getting it cooked up. K9, gotta get those blue walls ready because Shura is
Shura
gonna toss that one.
Perfectly
blocked by Superman. His senses are sharp, but they're gonna blow through the glue wall. Superman turns around. Oh, Divinity!
It's gonna happen.
Divine, excuse me, takes out K9 with one grenade launcher, and that's what we have been waiting for.
We knew that was gonna happen. I hate it when you hate it when you know what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
it hurts.
It's already a spoiler, right? Like you already knew like the result, but people still do it. But then again,
it's like watching a superhero movie. It's always going to be a happy ending.
Yeah, it's the good guys always win.
Usually.
Like I can't go there.
And then half the population disappears.
Half the population disappears and gets restored, so nothing happens.
No, that was the ending of the first movie, so technically, yeah. All right, moving on. We're sitting at 5 teams remaining, 14 players, and oh my goodness, poor Hades Step. He's basically just stuck behind that glue wall. He doesn't have anywhere for cover. There's a good chance he gets headshot. They're actually going to change over to a different player. And X-Fix gets cut down there by Chessman.
Anxiety is in such a good spot. They actually have the center
Tyrants
of the entire circle.
The Legion!
They are going down to Divine, Mr. D, and Shura. Make a quick work out of the BA.
Do they know Seika?
Dwindling down to last member.
Do they know Seika's there? I don't think so.
Seika has a clear view, but that blue zone.
Do they know?
Is it going to touch him though? Seika, no! He has to move.
He might hold. He might jump down and just try and snipe Shura. Oh no, he's missed.
He misses everything.
Yeah, he's missed everything.
A good night, sleep tight, sweet prince.
The animation.
Just a good last-ditch attempt, but now it's BA, Anxiety, and Divine. This is the best position, best placement that Divine has ever gotten since day one. So we already have 9 kills in the bag. There are 3 members left alive. Let's see if they can finally bag their first booyah.
I think they were almost going to get their hit with Mr. D. All right, so who's looking to be in a better position here? I like where Anxiety is because it's not easy to just get a multi-man grenade. Like maybe knockout 2, but...
They have a grenade launcher with them on Kanoho's hand. So that's going to be the biggest difference maker. BA Maharlika is already out. Mr. D down. Shura trying to make a break for it, but you can see Kanoho putting out the grenade launcher. Divine 2 against 4 and Anxiety. They are going to try and look to close this out. And I don't think Divine has anything left. Toby finds the 3rd one and Divine expires in round 4. Anxiety. What? Around getting the booyah for themselves, just completely impressive performance compared to day 1. Day 2 is where they come online.
Yep. This team is warmed up. They're raring to go. So this is another team you're going to have to watch out for. But Anxiety, surprise performance. I think this is probably a team you really need to look out for, right? Because it's no longer that day 1 surprise. This is how the team plays. You're going to get a feel of how they are in general. So Anxiety, is there a chance they're actually going to be able to take that that top place away.
And that was the team that started off out in the open, surrounded by 6 different teams.
Yep.
Somehow
They didn't care about Refinery, right? They just
they
said,
evicted a team from Refinery and they fought their way to the center.
man, I feel like it was a next level play for the fact that they skipped Refinery. Because maybe they were thinking, it's our... I mean, it was kind of predictable, right? Yeah. They were always there and they thought, someone's going to drop us. Let's try and dodge them for once. And they did.
Yeah, we leave it to you. We'll take it back in due time.
You can rent. That's it. You cannot keep. You can rent Refinery, but we're taking it back.
Yeah, the thing is that they don't even get to pay rent, right? They got evicted.
They took the security deposit.
Anxiety just came in and threw all of them out one by one, Min Jampong being the first. I mean, even in the previous round, Anxiety, they didn't get the booyah, but they came really close. And now getting the booyah, I think, is incredible for this team. Of course, once more, made possible by our partners at Snapdragon Elite Gaming when winning matters. And we have been with them for such a long time. It's great to see Snapdragon continuing to support us and the players on this endeavor. And we also have to give our appreciation to Monster Energy for allowing everyone to unleash the beast. Check them out at www.monsterenergy.com/gaming.
Super easy. And as always, if you haven't already and you're a bit of a Discord nerd like myself, make sure to join our Discord community for more information on the tournament. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to ask one of the admins and they'll be more than happy to help you and provide information on any upcoming tournaments. Now, I do believe we are going to be jumping into our next grouping very soon. Teams in Group B are done for today, which means it's going to be A versus C. We'll let the teams have a bit of a break and also prep because we are jumping back into Bermuda after this 5-minute break.
This here a dream. We done all seen 100 times over back when we was just teens. Now we doing it all. They would count us out, now we count up the ones. Now we got it out, now we throwing up the ones. Shit was always rapping, I believe we really won. Now they show love, came with it done. It is what it is, this is what it was. They all love to hate when it don't work out. Tell you that they always been down when it done. Say, oh, right now. Tell me who you see when you look straight up. Like, wait, oh, us now. What you gonna do when we pull up on you? Like, oh, touchdown. You already know what it is when we come through. Oh, shut down. Oh, shut down. Say, oh, right now. Tell me who you see when you look straight up. Like, wait, oh, us now. What you gonna do when we pull up on you? Like, oh, touchdown. You already know what it is when we come through. Oh, shut down. Oh, shut down.
Welcome back to the Snapdragon Pro Series Open Finals for Free Fire. This is day number 2 and we have 2 more rounds left, which means we're at the penultimate round of this evening. I'm Husky alongside Dana Lee, and this time we send Group B off on their way. They're done for the day.
They get to watch the matches.
And we bring Group A back to take on Group C.
Now, we did sort of talk about this whole idea that we could be looking at groups countering each other, right? So Group B demolished, I think we have to be completely honest here, they demolished Group A. Group C actually did a great job countering Group B. So the question is, does the circle of life continue, and is it going to be Group A to put the pressure onto Group C?
Yeah, and this is kind of a different dynamic from yesterday, because yesterday it was Group B, Group C, then Group A. But right now it feels like Group C could be at the very top.
It's hard to say, right? Because like both groups have technically done well. So I think we're going to have to wait and see after these next 2 games. Is it that cycle, or are we looking at potentially a dominant group? Because so far I think all eyes are now on Group C, because we've seen the magic of Group B. But is Group C going to be the one to also be able to steamroll over Group A?
And so far,
we don't know.
K9 esports have missed out 2 booyahs, but there's still 2 more to go. Let's take a look at the round standings from match number 4. Anxiety with that booyah and 8 kills, giving them 20 points. But Divine also did a pretty good job. One of their best placing thus far.
But can they get
points.
more? They need more. Yeah. But we'll have to see. They do have a couple more play days to go. So all eyes maybe on Divine to see if they do climb it up a little bit higher. But we of course need to take a look at the bigger teams, right? K9 esports and the round with 9 points. It's not too bad, but of course you do want more. Hard to get. End the day with 6. Who's next? Kalasag PH end the day with 4. And GM Remy finish with 2, which I think this one is probably the biggest shocker, because we did see GM Remy play out of their minds for the first 2 games.
Absolutely, but for GM Remy, I think that they can still take that on the chin. Unfortunately for Hard to Get and Who's Next Kalasak, they have been on the low for the entire evening. And let's take a look at our featured team, Anxiety, the team that won that previous round, getting the booyah, 8 kills, 4,716 damage. But most importantly, I think Chessman and Toby really stepped up to the plate. And even though they were not able to fully deliver yesterday, today was the day that they show us what they're made of.
Yeah, so the question is it enough, right? Is it enough to carry them to victory, to take the crown and to be the champion? It's a bit early to say, but look at this.
Look at that.
Look at this.
Woo, anxiety.
I said it. But the thing is, I didn't expect it. I'm going to be honest.
We kind of expected them to perhaps take over Who's Next Kalasak Philippines, but to be the first team to hit 100 points in 8 rounds.
And you know what's crazy? Off of 1 booyah at the end of the day.
Exactly right.
That is a testament to a consistent team.
And they were in the shadows the entire time, right? No one really paid much attention to Anxiety. And
Absolutely not.
And right now they are at the top It took them 8 rounds, but 8 rounds was all they needed to make it 100. Now is to keep that lead to themselves. Especially, you know, you capitalize on the fact that Who's Next Kalasak Philippines isn't doing too hot today.
So the question is, can anyone dethrone the Kings? Looking at the points, I don't think so. I think the gap is too big.
I think it's possible.
Do you think so?
Of course. We have 2 more days.
No, I mean for today. Do you think anyone can dethrone anxiety today?
That's actually a bit... I mean, K9 Esports needs to have
It's 2 games.
Amazing last 2 games.
Yeah,
To even stand a chance to overtake anxiety. But AKO Ultraman has a chance as well,
okay,
right?
okay, hang on. If K9, or at least whoever it is, gets about 40 points, which you have to average 20 per round, which is technically doable if you booyah and get about 8 kills.
8 kills, yeah. It is actually doable.
So it's kind of doable, but it's still a big ask.
We're still looking at the Group B supremacy, right?
Yeah.
Group B supremacy. In first to fourth, all from Group B. AKO Ultraman is the Group A representative, and now you have K9 Esports. So I think there's a really good chance that even if they don't overtake anxiety, they probably could overtake Who's Next Kalasak Philippines.
Hang on. What about Orange?
That's a good chance.
I think Orange also have the potential to maybe take that crown away. But we will talk about that a little bit later on as we reintroduce our groups. It's Groups A versus C, and as usual here for Group A, we have AV Ligers, Orange Esports, GIX Project, Warsick PH, AKO Ultraman, and EVA Continue. Now, just looking at the teams in this group, I think the ones you sort of want to look at here, of course, is Orange Esports, maybe AKO Ultraman. I mean, they're kind of there, but I don't know. I think this team, it's not consistent enough.
Yeah, and I think Orange Esports probably show us a bit more compared to AKO Ultraman, but
maybe.
that fluctuates, you know, from every now and then. But then we have to take a look at Group C. Legion Alpha, Ono Romeo, ORB Tyrants, Black Angel, Mahalika, K9 Esports, and Divine. In fact, we've talked so much about K9 and AKO and all those teams. I want to talk a bit about Divine because they've made it into the first half of the overall leaderboard, and they actually had one of their best rounds in round number 4. So I want to see if they can continue it in the last 2 rounds. But of course, our eyes are now drawn back to K9 Esports because they have been the superstar from day 1, and I'm looking forward to them.
You mean your boys?
My boys. I'm looking forward to my boys, you know, taking that break just now and coming back and scoring the last 2 rounds because that's what they did yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, after seeing those 2 games that they've already played, I'm a little bit concerned, right? The team feels a bit cold. They had a lot of moments where they just weren't prepared to go into engagements. So I would love to see the tables turn and have K9 be the ones to sniff out and hunt for these kills and be the winners as well, because after those last 2 rounds, I just don't really see them climbing the leaderboard unless they make some drastic changes.
Yeah, yesterday they also got up to a start, and you know, it actually took my attention off of them, even though I was trying to follow K9 wherever they go. But then the last 2 rounds they changed that, and I am wondering if that is the same pattern, where they need some time to ramp up, to get beaten down before they get back up. And of course, now we get to look at Divine, Newbie, Miro, Ajimbu, Mr. D, Shura, and Zen. They don't need any introduction. These guys have been around for longer than we have.
Okay, here's the thing. If you don't follow Malaysian Free Fire, then fine. Maybe you don't know who they are. But they're here to prove you wrong. They're here to say that you're going to learn our names very quickly. Very, very quickly.
Very, very quickly. Now I remember what was the team that slipped my mind, right? I mentioned Blacklist, I mentioned GeekFam as teams that don't really get much placement points but get a lot of kills. Fast Kill MY.
Yes. Oh boy, yes. I mean, the name makes it a little bit obvious. I'm surprised you forgot. But
I remember
I get
Fast, but I did not remember like the second part of it.
Which was the most crucial thing, right? You're doing who gets the kills? Fast Kill MY.
Wow, I did not know.
Husky. Oh my goodness.
Age is catching up. You know?
Age is catching up. I think we are getting a little bit old.
We are. I don't feel old. The lights make me feel old.
It's fine. But as we get older, so does time. as it moves on, because we are going to be jumping into this next game very soon. Just a reminder to anyone that just joined into this broadcast, it's Teams Group A versus C, jumping into their first game of this, technically, best of 2 series. Now, who's going to be ending the final 2 series with Booyahs? We're about to find out as we go on to Bermuda. Are we going to see any hot drops? Because we have seen a couple happen today, and I think we've definitely had some upsets happen.
Yes.
And we have
a lot of upsets happen.
Yes. And we also know that there are a couple teams that really, really need to do well this round.
Eco, Ultraman, Orange Esports, Divine,
K9. Yes.
I think these are the 4 teams that we keep our eyes out for.
Hang on. What is that happening in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, Husky? I believe that might be a hot drop.
It's Warsick and
it's 3 versus 4.
What happened? Oh, yeah, what?
Huh?
Warsick.
I guess I don't know.
Oh, Hades actually tried to take the zip line. Okay, so he got out, but this is a very weird opening.
They're spread out too. It's very
ORV.
risky. Yeah.
Not really sure what the idea was, but Warsick has you have to kind of get out of this area right now.
Oh yeah, you want to get out. I think as soon as they see him, they're just going to rain bullets. And they don't really have cover to work with either, so if you can get out, that'd be perfect. But it looks like for now it's going to be a peace treaty between these 2 teams. I don't think we saw any bullets fly. But yeah. We are, okay, interestingly enough, Husky, we're looking at 44 players. I don't remember seeing anyone die.
So we are
I think
4 players less.
Yeah, I think we're missing some players, I guess. Okay, so we did get an update that one team unfortunately has been disqualified, which is why
who that team is, right? I think that's the biggest question.
We'll find out in a second, because we'll have the leaderboard on the right side of the screen. So we'll update the viewers as to who did get disqualified.
Submit the prediction in the Twitch chat below and let us know which team you think.
No. We're not going to do that.
Oh my god.
All right. So no action so far, though. I'm pretty surprised that we haven't seen
Considering the hot drop, right?
Yeah. But okay, this might be where we start seeing some action. But the thing is, has AKO seen Shura yet?
AV Ligers. So the confusing part is that they didn't manage to change the tag. So
yeah, so they're still AKO.
So you still see well, they're sister teams.
Yeah.
But yeah, AV Ligers.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, Divine feels like they are looking to make the first move.
Okay, they know Shura's there, but Anubis, you can see he doesn't really have the best angle to try and get that snipe off. I mean, he did try.
But I think AV Ligers are pretty much surrounded. And it's kind of worrying though, because AV Ligers in day 1, they were the aggressors. They were the one taking fights, even though we say that it was questionable decisions.
Yeah.
It felt like they weren't executing it as a unit. But right now, they are playing in a more passive manner, and they are just letting Divine slowly encircle them.
It feels like they've been doing it all day, though, right? Like we haven't really seen AKO Ligers really put the pedal to the metal and be the aggressors.
Yeah. So we got an update that GX project has been disqualified. That's why we are only running with 11 teams. But that also means that you have 4 less points on the map.
That's actually going to be pretty crucial for some of the other teams, right? It could be, like, for example, Jix could have been going into the pockets of some of the bottom teams, and those points are really important. So for now, it just seems like it's going to be a pretty quiet game.
Yeah. So we see 2 teams, or well, we say pretty quiet. I was expecting Divine to finally make a move, and they did.
Oh.
Dependa has already been removed from this game.
It's going to be another Liger.
But I felt like they kind of saw it coming, right? With how Divine had positioned themselves. They surround Anubis. Yeah, this is an easy pickup for Newbie. I don't think Anubis had any way of getting out, no matter what he did.
No, he died with the Egyptians.
It was a matter of time.
Yeah.
There we go.
And the thing is, we still do have 2 players alive on the side of Ligers, but I guess they feel cornered that they can't move. Because they've only got empty hills on either side of them. They have a road. Like, that's literally the only compound that they can be in.
I always say that the road is actually the most dangerous place to be on without a vehicle, because it puts you out in the open, right? You are like a sitting duck. Well, you're like a moving duck, but very vulnerable.
You're sitting lion in this one.
Yeah, the AV Liger so getting ran through again. As the rest of Divine slowly storm the building. Sher's getting up to the second floor, out to the balcony. But Zen has already found Psycho, and that means that Sher will also surrender himself.
4 kills for
Divine getting off to a stellar start.
Again, I think if anything, this team's going to be so happy. So that's basically 4 points guaranteed. Yes, if they get eliminated now, they're still going to wind up with those 4 extra points on top of the placement points.
Yeah, it's a good start, to try and catch up to
It always
the
feels
first
good to
place.
get kills. Yeah, it's always good to get those kills because it's like it's money in the bank. That's guaranteed.
Guaranteed
Placements
points.
is not guaranteed yet.
You can lose now and still have some points, right? Like the silver lining is you walk away with something.
Yeah. Ooh.
ORV and BA on the far end. I think this is close to Pochi knock area. Though I think that BA, yeah, they did lose GIC early on. So this is kind of not the start that you were looking for. Warstick Philippines actually got 1 kill, so I believe that one was onto BA. And AQ Ultraman actually got 1 to ORV.
So what is the play for these teams? This is a very cautious game from all the teams participating. I'm just surprised we didn't get the hot drop that we dreamed of, right? We thought it was going to happen. It didn't. Both teams put their hands up and said, we're unarmed. We're going to leave quietly. You're going to let us go. And we will not start a new war. And that's exactly what happened.
I think in 2 years, I have not seen teams fighting each other with their bare fists.
In Free Fire?
Yeah. Like you hot drop and you start just fighting with your bare fists.
I mean, why though?
I mean, why
That's like
not?
so RNG.
Yeah, but like, let's say if you can't really fight.
But the thing is, like, everyone runs at roughly the same speed, unless you're buffed for it. So if you're the same speed as everyone else, like, not like they're going to be able to hit you anyway. So you could run to the loot. You can take the gun and you can shoot them in the face.
Yeah, but like, what if we have a gentleman's agreement, right? They just fight. It's a show of strength. That's what I do.
Well, actually, there is a character that gives you bonus melee damage, so can't, I guess. But you'd be prepped for it. Like, you'd go for all the passives.
Yeah. Which one do you want to pick, right? Like bonus boost speed, a healing gun.
Actually, I'd go for A-Lock's ability because it heals and you run faster.
Yeah, that one, right? So A-Lock or Chrono that sets up a dome that blocks bullets.
But that doesn't block punches. Because you're asking for a gentleman's agreement to have a punch off. So you'd want to go for A-Lock skill.
Yeah, but then that's cheating, right?
That's not cheating. You're prepping for it.
Yeah, well, gentleman's agreement means that you both agree to fight it out, not run away.
But here's the... No. It's not for running away. It's for chasing people and you heal yourself as you're running. So you're the aggressor. Why would you run away? I mean, if you wanted to run away with it, fine. Be my guess. Okay, never mind. We got Deckers here flexing his car.
Yeah, he just...
Look at him. He's pushing parents. So they want to swap?
So what's the game plan, guys?
What? Oh, I think they're changing. Okay, so they want to Torm. Are they pushing this car off the cliff?
I think they are.
Hang on, can we go back to the car?
I feel like if you do that in real life...
What's going on?
It's a couple $1,000s.
What were they doing? I'm so good. Unless they're trying to break the car. Oh, the car's stuck, apparently.
But yeah.
But
I didn't know cars can get stuck.
I thought they could... Couldn't they just reverse?
That was my thought. The horrible drivers.
I mean, we got told that the car's stuck. Maybe the terrain behind is blocked so you can't reverse anymore.
Oh, boy.
Because the terrain can be fun. Someone could have just driven the other car forward. I don't know.
Yeah, well...
That's fine.
I mean...
I don't drive, so how would I know?
Only in Free Fire can you use a sports car to try and dislodge a truck. A 4x4 truck.
Only in Free Fire.
Only in Free Fire.
No. Only in Free Fire is it legal to run over people.
I mean, try doing that in real life. Driving a sports car to try and ram into a truck just to get it like out of the mud. No one would do that. No one in their right mind would do it.
Because you would break the car and it would be undrivable.
It would be drivable. It just doesn't look nice.
No, I think you'd like, if you push the wrong side of it, you might break something and it just becomes undrivable.
Yeah. This is how you know that I'm actually very dumb.
I'm not a mechanic, so I wouldn't know either.
Because you can just hook like whatever you call it, you just hook the vehicles. I don't know.
You just use the hook and you hook the bumper, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's the
But
bumper.
I've seen videos of like people using like trucks to hook onto like a normal sedan, and when the truck drives out, it just takes the bumper with it.
Yeah. I've seen too many of those. Oh boy. I think McRory didn't have the best angle. I love that he didn't get a bit trigger happy. You know how some players, they try and go for the snipe, and they just go for it. Yeah. They don't double check.
Sometimes you lose more by shooting, right? Because like you review the positions of
Your
everyone.
position. And if you don't get the hits in, that's when it really
That's-
hurts.
I think for EVC they are not too worried. Though they have
Bro,
to.
you've got McRory. Why should you be afraid?
Why should you be afraid? Man?
McRory
You
himself.
have the XSAF. You have Damon. You
Yeah.
have Forbits.
I mean,
Oh, there we go.
you're a freaking good team. I don't know what you'd be worried about. Like, if McRory doesn't shoot, you don't shoot.
Or not being in first place. I think that's what you are they are worried about.
And they've got days to play. Don't worry.
No, they do.
Look, this might be their round. You know, these next two games, they could obliterate the competition, and they're suddenly the biggest threat in the tournament.
The
The
EVC
possibility.
is actually the team that when I looked at the roster prior to yesterday, I was like, these guys are probably going to be big contenders.
Day one.
Evidently not even. I mean, it's day 2.
No, it's like, I mean, yes, they played 2 games already. They got 2 more, and we don't know how they're going to do in this group on day 2. There we go.
I feel like we share the
I'm
same
being very
sentiment.
positive.
It's like the positive, the optimism is there.
It's, what is it? Manifesting positivity.
It's like me
That's what
doing
they do
house chores, right? Yeah, I didn't do it today, but you know what? I still have Saturday to do my chores.
Ooh,
but
we have an
Deco
elimination.
is down. Joey, in fact, ORV is fighting a separate fight. Warsick Philippines losing a member early on. Norwich Esports getting the better end of that exchange.
Yep. And so far, looking good here for Orange Esports. I'm really wondering if this is going to be the redemption arc here for Orange, because we just haven't seen this team really be part of the competition. They're there, but they aren't in the spotlight. They're not making the big plays. They're not the ones making it to those final circles. Like, yeah, they're kind of there, but not top 3.
It's good enough, right? Kind of like anxiety.
Is it good enough? Like, you kind of want them to make it top 2, top.
Of course.
Yeah.
There are 2 rounds to make that happen, right? Again, the 4 teams, the Divine, AKO Ultraman, Orange Esports, and I forgot the last one. I actually forgot the last thing. My memory is. But yo, K9 Esports. There we go. K9.
It was your team too.
I
How'd
forgot
you forget about K9 Esports? Oh my goodness, Husky. Take a look at that top right-hand corner. We are looking at madness.
Oh, cars driving by, shots getting fired. Oh boy, Berling's actually setting their car on fire. Shakur having to abandon his vehicle.
But look
and
up
run
top, we've
on
got K9.
foot.
K9 is on the bridge.
Okay, K9. I need the vouchers. Shakur has nothing left. Oh, he's gonna barricade himself. Alright, whoever lands a grenade in the center gets extra 3 points. Shoot the hoop. Oh, Legion shows up behind. Oh no, not having to hold them up.
Better
Bitterlings
links
being the
finish.
first point of contact, trying to block
Grenade.
them off with those glue walls. The grenade getting thrown out as well. They want to slow down Legion because of the blue zone. And now they're all tanking the circle, trying to duke it out like warriors. Bitterlings runs in, he's taking out the blue zone, and he turns the corner,
no!
takes out by Pan. Imran chips in. Oh no, joins the fight as Legion slowly molds them through. And Legion ends up walking away with 0 casualties.
That fight literally turned into an oh no, but look at this!
The play zone! No, the play zone!
Oh, I mean, what can you do though? They ended that fight on such low health. I mean, they can get the pickups, so they do have a chance to heal themselves. They can get back into the competition. But still, I mean, it's going to be very difficult.
Right? That's the best that you can get.
Yeah, I mean, what can you really do here? But here we go. We saw McRory actually grabbing a kill for his team there, and he's going to be going up against Roy from like it connects.
The grenade launcher from
It's down to Daemoon.
downtown.
It's down to
well
Daemoon.
done from AKO Ultraman. I think the Forbits and McRoy did not expect that at all. This is where Daemon, you gotta be the hero. Can you at least reach one of your teammates in time? Seems like he can. As far as going to be Forbis, bringing back out Glue Wall and the Time Turner, keeping them safe. McRory not in range. They do have that Glue Wall, and McRory is crawling towards his teammate. But look at who's behind. It's Divine. They've shown up. Lemon, you're not prepared for this. You have EVC, and now you have Divine, who is going to come from behind. Xenop, he does have the bush. Bit of guerrilla warfare going on right now, but EVC feels like they're going to try to flush out AKO Ultraman. Divine completely ignoring the commotion. They're just running through, but whoever fired that shot have just drawn Divine back.
I don't know, because McRory is back up, so everyone is alive on the side of EBC. And is this going to be an issue for everybody? We're going to find out very soon as Deckers gets a knock there. But Daemoon, he's actually going to get knocked down here for EVC. It's McRory and Forbids trying to outrun the storm. McRory is going down. Forbids is the last one alive. He's going to be hiding behind that glue wall, but there's one player going into this final zone very soon with 4 teams remaining, 19 players. Oh, they get
found
clipped.
him.
That's it.
Divine still pretty much healthy. Look at K9. A very crucial position. They're holding the bridge. AKO Ultraman. Lemon, he did take down to the zone. So he's out. Joey again eliminated once more. Tackler healing back up as Warsick Philippines somehow still holding on. But K9 now has to get down from the bridge and they gotta run straight into Divine. K9 having the vantage point and Divine, they're all holding underneath the bridge. The circle is in favor of K9 and they found Zen. Superman with his sensors snuffs it out. The grenades are getting tossed. Zen is nowhere to be found. As Warsick Philippines, they hear all this happening but they have no line of sight to take shots at K9 and Paradon becomes the next to go.
I love what Divine's doing because I know if they sit under the bridge, there's nothing K9 can do anyway, right?
Yep.
So that means everyone else is going to be at the mercy of K9. And look at Divine. They can just go for pickoffs on the teams on the lower ground. They're going to go here onto Legion, but can they finish off these pickoffs? Because Pan, I don't think that pickoff's going to be successful. It's just too risky. Look at the zone.
Oh, okay, they're going to make it out in time. They actually
Mr. D!
outran the zone. Mr. D requiring some assistance. They brought him back up, but no, K9 cleans out. Warsick is done. And we are down to 2 teams.
Orange
K9
is done.
against Divine. Who is going to do this? K9 again. I told you that is the late game prowess of my boys from K9 Esports. The first 2 rounds never happened because K9s are going in for the kill.
Are there any grenades?
Can Shura and Newbie do this though? Because K9 are coming in hot and the zone is not making it easy for the members of Divine. Newbie takes out, gets shot. And Shura, he is out in the open, takes out Blank. Can he at least salvage 1 point? The answer is yes. Guess number 1, but this should be the round. Only Glue separating him from Eternal Doom. And K9 Esports will take their time to savor this moment and get the booyah for themselves.
It was a booyah that was going to come at some point. They finally get it. And I think it kind of was a little bit of a luck factor here for K9, right? Because they got the bridge, they secured it, and the circle
This is the
practically...
best reaction. Watch this. Oh, it's not like yesterday.
Ah.
There we go. That was what I was looking for.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you were saying?
So yeah, so I was saying that positioning-wise, it was absolutely perfect. I think the game was set up for K9. They had the bridge. It was there. It stayed on the bridge. They didn't have to move. Everyone else was at the mercy of K9 because they had the high ground advantage.
Yep. And I think we learned something. If you wear a helmet in real life while playing Free Fire, you are immune to headshots. So,
are you?
So an interesting thing yesterday that we got. So again, from the interview, we talked to Blank for 2 games in a row. And one of the questions that our friend Ikuto asked was, we saw your teammates showing their girlfriends. Why didn't you show yours? Are you single? And he was like, no, I'm taken. I have a girlfriend. And he finally showed her. This is the only team so far that is like demonstrating the power of
love.
Yeah. Great team.
All right. I mean, I wish that was helpful for me when I played games. I feel like I lose more games, but that's just me.
Yeah, well, if your partner's stressing you out, like, if you don't win, I'm not going to talk to you, then of course,
yeah,
it makes it different.
Right? They just annoy the heck out of you.
Pretty sure they are not in that predicament, which is why they're playing so well. Of course, also enabled by our partner from Snapdragon Elite Gaming when winning a Matters. And I think it matters to these guys, you know, it's a pride for the team, but I think their partners are really happy supporting their boys on this journey. And I love it because I support my boys as well. And we are also very honored to be supported by Monster Energy, allowing everyone to unleash the beast. Check them out at www.monsterenergy.com/gaming.
Yeah, you want to know what my beast sounds like? Rah. Okay, I'm going to stop now. For anyone that's a Discord beast, make sure to join our Discord community for some more updates on the tournament. If you have any questions, if you want to know more, make sure you head on over there. Someone will be more than happy to help you out. And we are going to go for a quick break, which is going to be more than enough time for you to join our Discord group. Once you return, though, we're going to jump into our last game of the day. It's going to be Kalahari for teams in Group A and C.
One more round for the day 2 of the Snapdragon Pro Series Free Fire Open Finals, and of course the last round will be concluded between Group A and Group C. I'm Husky alongside Danily, and of course my boys at K9, they just scored another booyah!
And I guess at this point you're praying that they get another one.
I'm not praying, I'm sure they'll get it, I'm confident.
Sure.
100%.
I mean, it'll be great for the team, right? Because I think up until this point, their first 2 games of the day were a little bit slow at the gate. They didn't really have the best start. Booyah! I mean, that's already a great start, but the question is, can they end the day with that booyah to solidify their position on that leaderboard? Because they're not that far down, right? They were sitting on about, we were talking about this, they were sitting on about 60, was it 64? 66
60
points.
plus points, right?
Yeah, about that. If they can get 40, they can take first place.
And I think off of game 1, they've already completed 50% of that.
Yeah, they do. So at this point, all they have to do, I say all, but it's like really hard for the teams. They either have to get a booyah and about 8 kills. The alternative is they finish towards the top of the bracket, but they get over 14 kills.
Perfect. This is perfect. 21 points to start things off.
19 to go.
19 to go. 1 booyah and again a couple more kills. 1 booyah and 7 kills.
Yes.
That's kind of like the average. But K9 Esports off to a great start to catch up to that first place, which is currently held by Anxiety. Divine coming in 2nd, Orange Esports coming in 3rd, and Warsick Philippines and another decent round. Legion Alpha also making an appearance in that first page of the round standing.
Yeah, and then in 6th, of course, we've got EVA continue. So I think it seems this round, all the teams that we sort of expected to place towards the top of the bracket did so. I think the only one that kind of missed out was EVA, right? We were expecting them to maybe place a little bit higher, but...
AQ Ultraman, I think that is also a team
yeah, true.
we expect them to probably be in a position where Warsick or Legion Alpha is in, but not looking too hot. Let's take a look at the stats of K9 Esports. Again, the number speaks for itself. I don't think we need to go through this too much. A lot of inefficient damage from the looks of it, right? Almost 5,000 damage and 9 kills. But then again, K9 Esports were basically hunkered down in an open area. They were fighting multiple teams, and I believe some of those kills were stolen away. So at the end of the day, I think K9 Esports still did a fantastic job, regardless of the numbers.
Yeah, and the question you need to now ask is, can they do it again?
Yes.
Because they have a goal, and they have a very clear-cut path to it. As always, can they execute it? Can they work off of this high from game 1 and bring it to game 2? Because we're also doing a map change. We're switching over from Bermuda to Kalahari. How well did they do in Kalahari?
So far, they haven't been Kalahari yet. Let's take a look. Anxiety is still 100. K9 Esports are in 3rd place right now. They are 1 point away from tying out with who's next, Kalasak Philippines. The GM Remy, they are done for the day, so remaining in 4th. Divine also coming in close. AQ Ultraman overtaking hard to get. Orange Esports very close behind. And Legion Alpha finally breaking into the first page.
So K9 only need 13 points if they want to tie with Anxiety. So ultimately 14 points.
Yeah, so
that's roughly how many you get for placing top 3, I think, right? Like 3 is sort of the safe cutoff.
So it's like 12 points, 9 points, 8 points, and the kills vary from that point on.
So I'd say about 3rd, 4th place is probably the cutoff, assuming you also get the kills on top of it.
Yeah.
So it's reachable, but can K9 do it in this round?
Yeah, sure, of course they can.
The positivity.
No
Positive manifestation. A lot of teams like
I'm a subscriber to The Secret.
Subscribe. Alright.
I heard that if you want something bad enough, it would happen.
Yeah, I guess. Sometimes.
Sometimes.
But looking at the brackets, though, we can see a couple of other changes, right? I mean, Divine can absolutely make a climb on the leaderboard. Same thing with AKO Ultraman. Orange Esports also very capable of rising. And it really just comes down to this final round because we're not seeing anybody run away with the game.
Yeah, which is, I think, what makes Free Fire so fun. Though, I mean, if we put AB Legacy JX Project aside, I think these guys are probably never going to make it into the first page, at least from what we've seen.
Yeah.
But for the contenders that are still in the running, we're plenty of them. This is what makes Free Fire so fun. You can play up to the very last round and still not know who is victorious. Remember that tournament that we did? I think it was MCP or something. I'll hold that off for a while because I think you know what I'm talking about. But for now, we're going to talk to one of the players from the side of K9 Esports. We're handing over to Ikuto and Hajia to conduct the interview.
How do I pronounce your name? Norman or Norman?
Nah, Norman.
Norman. Okay. So I just want to know. So what happened on your first 2 games, and then it's like yesterday. It's the same. Not perform and then suddenly perform.
Maybe we're just not ready to be hyped like that. But in the next game, we're ready to be on fire again. 2 digits booyah again.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Alright, so seperti yang Haji katakan tadi, Haji nak ikut tanya kepada K9 ataupun Norman di mana kenapa diorang punya trend tu sama seperti semalam. 2 game tak perform, 2 game perform. So macam hari ni juga 2 game tadi pun mereka tak dapat booyah, tapi hari ni game kelima mereka dapatkan booyah. So Norman cakap apa tadi? Dia kata mungkin awal-awal tu tak bersedia lagi nak panas. So game yang ketiga keempat ni baru diorang dah boleh dapatkan diorang punya momentum dan akan terus kekalkan sampai ke game yang ke-6 nanti pun diorang nak booyah juga.
Okay, so Norman, just a quick question.
Yeah.
Why sorry Bisha?
Sorry Basha.
Oh, so Basha. There's one player. Sorry Basha, he said.
My team Superman because his girlfriend tampo.
Oh, very angry at him lah. Oh.
Yes, angry.
Oh, see?
Related to his girlfriend lah.
Yes.
Okay. That's I guess just now. So yeah. So sorry Basha tu maksudnya tadi dia ada masalah dengan girlfriend dia. So yeah. So itulah dia permohonan maaf secara online.
Online. Oh, we don't ask from message. We go online.
Yes.
We get booyah. Then we can get a picture. Then we can send to our girlfriend. Very clever. So Norman, second game, you say that you're going to get another booyah, but which team that going to give you a hard time to secure another booyah for you guys?
On the fourth game, maybe ako Ultraman.
I see. Other than that?
Because
other than Ako Ultraman?
Do an Orange esports because they have a lot of experience in pro scene.
I see. So just a quick question. Do you have anything to say to Ako Ultraman and Orange esports?
Maybe we see them in adoration and maybe we wipe them.
Oh, you're going to wipe them.
Okay.
Very interesting.
Alright. So soalan yang terakhir yang ditanyakan oleh Guto, apa tadi? Nak cakap apa untuk pasukan Orange dan juga pasukan AQ Ultraman? Sila kata dia akan akan jumpa dekat game, dia akan try untuk ratakan pasukan Orange Sport dan juga AQ Ultraman. Tapi soalan yang sebelum tu adalah soalan apa yang Guto kata tadi, siapa yang menghalang pasukan K9 Esports daripada untuk mara mendapatkan booyah untuk game yang terakhir. So bagi pendapat Norman adalah AQ Ultraman dan juga pasukan Orange Esports.
Alright, okay. Thank you so much Norman for the interview. We will see you in the game and good luck.
Good luck.
Interesting discussion.
Same thing. Yesterday first 2 rounds not doing too hard, but they're aiming for the last 2 booyah. And he said that Norman said that the 2 teams that he's looking out for, AKO Ultraman and Orange Esports.
Interesting choices, I think. Okay, so AKO I can understand. Orange Esports, yeah, I guess I can understand that as well. But the thing is, like, there are so many good teams in the group. I don't think you can really limit it to 2.
Yeah, well, we could ask the 2 teams. You gotta
hey,
pick
he only gave him 2 options. Like, maybe he just thinks of everyone as an equal. So he was like, I'm just going to pick from this pool of really good teams because we've seen them all play. We can see how confident the top teams are. Yeah. So we kind of can tell. We can tell. That's it.
We can tell. And I've learned a new way to apologize to my partner in case I screw up. Not through text, I'll do it online. Thank you, Norman, for teaching me that. I'll be eternally grateful. But of course, if you guys have any other ways that you think you should apologize to your partners or maybe about the game, do remember to post it and comment down in the social media with the hashtag Snapdragon Pro Series because we want to hear your thoughts on that. And if you have any more creative methods, do let me know because I think I need it.
I think you need a lot of things, Husky.
I need a lot of things, Husky.
Now, to end the day, of course, if you haven't already, do submit your predictions to our Twitch chat. Let us know who you think is going to win this final round because it is the last game of the day. It's Group B versus C. We're going into Kalahari. Is it going to be K9?
It is going to be K9.
Positive manifestation. I like it.
Yes.
Let's jump into the game because I do believe we are ready to go. Is it going to be K9 to secure that booyah, or is it going to be a different team that is going to snatch that crown away and deny them that first place?
And I just want to quickly, summarize everything. I think K9, they say they will. I'm not sure if he said it, but I think they say that they will smash AKO, Ultraman, and Orange when they meet them.
Okay.
I feel like I was the one who said it, but I'm confident that that would happen. If they've done it once. Oh, but it was on Divine in the last circle.
Look at you speaking on behalf of K9.
Of course. I'm surprised that Divine wasn't in the conversation just now, but again, they are pretty close to one another. Let's jump in.
K9's manager speaking on behalf of the team here.
Yes.
They don't know that they have a manager yet.
Yes.
As we jump into the round, we do need to remind our viewers, if you're wondering why there are only 11 teams and 44 players, it is because we have a disqualification. So I believe it was Jix Esports, the team, the
Jix
full
project.
sorry. Jix.
It's okay.
It's late at night. The whole team has been disqualified, so they will not be participating in these final 2 rounds. But that does mean, if you take a look, we are looking at a lot of action here. It is Orange Esports and WS.
Again, the fight, the shrines. I feel like we've seen this before, but this time it's Orange Esports that comes out on top.
Ooh.
And Warsick Philippines might have picked the wrong fight. Oh boy, AV Ligers, what happened?
And on the other side of the map, we actually have AKO and K9. So we've got the big dogs going up against each other.
It was AV Ligers. It was AKO's sister team.
Yeah.
AV Ligers just took down a Psycho Found. Like, what is happening? K9. That is not. That is just AV Ligers. You guys are looking for AKO, Ultraman. How are you going down to AV Ligers? So we got to check in on them a bit because I think Tacular is a bit of a pickle with Orange Esports trying to run him down. Meanwhile, Warsick Philippines up the goes down. A good attempt from Tacular, but unfortunately, Jabat is there. Joey wants to come in and provide some help, but Joey is a bit too little too late. And they also found Invoker trying to skirt the edges of Shrine, and Warsick Philippines are no more.
That's going to be 4 easy kills going into the pocket of Orange Esports. Going to be very happy with themselves. Again, going off to a very fantastic start. I'm not sure what it is about Shrines. Like, why do people just like to drop here with another team and be like, hey, we're gonna banter, we're gonna fight, we're gonna grab some kills, someone's gonna die. K9! Hello?
Romy, gotta prepare another apology after this.
Cursed. The manager spoke too soon.
Positive reinforcement. Do remember to follow me on
Manifestation.
Twitter.com/husky. My contact is huskycast@gmail.com.
Yep, that's where you can send the cease and desist. I'm funny today. I'm kidding.
No, it sounded funny because I actually read up a lot about law, so yes, I
Oh
understand. It sounds super funny.
I was kidding.
You're lucky I learned. You're lucky I knew what that meant.
Sure. I'm surprised you didn't.
I don't think it should be a cease and desist. I think it should be an injunction.
It's a cease and desist of trying to be their manager.
And it's an injunction, so I don't talk about them ever again.
Yeah.
All right.
Too much law talk here. All right, let's switch back to the game. But to be fair, though, this is a very devastating opening for K9 because they only need 14 points to actually take first place away.
They're 13 points. Oh yeah, 14. 14 to overtake.
14 to overtake, 13 to tie. The chances of that happening with one player is so slim. And on of all maps, on Kalahari. So, I mean, I think the best you can do, you can try and slip into
Just
second
turtle your way
place.
into, into second place, and then you try to
turtle your way to second place.
And
And grab kills on the way.
Exactly.
So 5 kills and second place. That's what you're asking. Because you need 14 points, so you get...
Yeah, it's not too hard.
Cease and desist.
Because you can't get the booyah alone. I highly doubt that's a possibility.
Okay, it's rare, but I don't think K9 situation. No, I think K9 situation, it's very impossible. If you had like your full team and then you're going down to like the second last circle, then I think you can sort of creep in and be like that last person. Yeah. But if it's like from the get-go, the chance of that happening is
the one thing that The possibility increases if, like, from the get-go it happens and you're in the center of the map and the circle goes to you.
Yes, like the game has to set up for you, right? Like you have to have the circle advantage. You have to have any kind of cover advantage. Everything has to go your way, which, I hate to say it, Free Fire is kind of RNG. Although sometimes you can manipulate the RNG. If you're the only person on one side and everyone else is on the other side, the circle usually goes toward the single person.
It's like RNG is a blanket statement for us to try and cover up the fact that they just decided to hot drop and they ended up losing. But Divine, they make contact with BA, and I mean Divine is coming in, guns blazing very hard, and Newbie making it count, and El Juanito is out. Divine getting a good initial kill, and this opening might set Divine up for success because they did have decent rounds thus far, and if it's not K9 that overtakes WNX, I think Divine is next in line because Newbie is going to turn the corner, and he is still going. Shakur becomes victim number 2.
Yeah, I think this is going to just be an easy knock here onto Fix. I mean, there's no way he can really go. He will try and get a knock, but nah, he's going to go down. So that's going to be 3 kills on the side of Divine. Unfortunately, they won't get that final pick, but again, it's still 3 kills. They were able to loot the bodies, so as they continue on, they should be fine. But in the process, Sanctus is running into Legion. He is all alone, and he's hiding under the danger zone.
Oh boy.
Not the best place to be, but I don't think anyone will be looking for you at this point.
We're hearing all these footsteps in our head, but actually Sanctus can't hear that.
Nah.
This is actually super creepy.
It's creepy.
Can you imagine?
Free Fire became Free Fright.
I think Free Fire is a horror game. I think any game that has an element of surprise is a horror game.
Does it? I mean,
You literally have a team called Anxiety. How
Look,
is it?
I've been in games. I can kind of agree, but it's like you can't call something a horror game if it's only got jump scares. Like you kind of have to have scary elements.
Right.
So I mean, you gotta have like maybe some skeletons.
Dying is scary, you know.
Not really. I mean, in here you turn into a loot box. So, or if you have the Saitama skin, then you turn into a Saitama egg.
Yeah. Now this gives me a new idea. What if there's a series where, like, when people pass on, they turn into collectibles? Okay, this is some sci-fi stuff.
You need help. I'm just gonna say.
I'm just creative. I don't.
Creative.
You know the.
That's a nice word.
Einstein didn't need help.
Okay.
The fact that I made that comparison shows that I really need some assist. I really need some like
need therapy.
Like psych evac or something. It's a very standard circle though. It's
actually.
Let's check in on K9. Where
okay, so Normain is in the northwest side.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, he's all by himself. So he's pretty safe. And he's in a pretty good position as well to safely enter that circle. Although, to be honest, there's not really that many compounds to work with. If he wants to be safe, he'd go through Foundation.
Yeah, he can cut through and swim.
Yeah,
Foundation.
I mean, he could, but he's probably thinking like, oh, there's somebody there, I'm going to be scared. Because you have to think about a player that's playing by yourself, right? And you have to take
That's scary. That's the scary element.
No, that's not the scary element. That's not how you turn Free Fire into a horror game.
Well, Divine, they are still going. I mean, Manflank is trying to get to his teammate as fast as possible. Well, not Divine, I mean ORV, excuse me. Taking the fight over to Ono. This is all happening at Refinery. And fortunately for Ono, they were able to at least rescue that fallen teammate. Getting picked back up. I think it means that these two teams are now in a deadlock.
Yeah. We have to see who gets the first drop, though, because whoever gets the first knock down generally has the advantage for the rest of the fight. I mean, for all we know, they could just stay here, because to be honest, like so far the circle is not really swaying that far from Refinery, so
yeah, it's
we might just look at
the
another
second
Refinery.
phase,
Yeah.
like under 10 minutes.
I'm really curious to see where the circle is going to end up for this match. Like, is it going to be the center of the map again, or are we looking at some really awkward corner that forces everyone in Refinery to sort of think, oh,
you gotta go. Jampong is
the
trying
moving
to,
house.
Jampong is trying to look for a flank angle.
Yeah.
And that's the perk of taking control of Refinery, because you not only have the vantage point, but you also have this wide area that you can access that is covered. to allow you to go for different angles, potential angles to catch your enemies off guard. But thankfully for Ono, they are very well aware of the possibilities. So Jumpong's cover was blown. That means that Ono will remain safe for now, because I mean, BA also showed up. Sanctus, you say that he was hiding. I believe he just made contact with Bitterlinks. But unfortunately, Bitterlinks did find Ruz. So Ono kind of making a dent in the defense of ORB.
This is classic man flank, right? Like, he's always the first one to go into these fights. But is he going to make it pay off, though? Because I'm really worried he's just going to run into EVs. He's just going to run into somebody.
EVCs here.
I don't think they're on the high ground. I think they're on the low ground. It's just, it looks like they're on the high ground. Yeah, they're on the right side, see?
If you're Sanctus, you must be terrified.
Yeah.
You see two teams fighting, you know, like on above you.
Yeah. Look at Abnoy. Abnoy's got a pretty good position.
Yeah. ORB are losing ground though. Well, I say that Frenzy gets surprised. And Hades Stab gets a free kill. What an ambush from Hades Stab, just completely utilizing the structure to kind of outmaneuver Ono. And with Frenzy down, you can see that Ono actually have no way to get to one another. They're so far out. Manfang is closer to Jab, but now Manfang is also preoccupied. He and Jab decided that this is not worth it, but ORB have other plans. Oh, Hades Stab not paying attention. That Glua might spell the end, but it's back out coming in from Ruz. Oh boy, Manfang traps himself. How is Manfang still up? He's still alive. It takes down Ruz.
Gosh, I don't know.
Jab is with him.
I don't know how he didn't get hit there. I thought he would have gotten one more body shot and he was going to go down, but oh, he didn't land.
Bullets do not land on man flank. That's the main takeaway.
That's why it's called man flank, because he's flanking you, not the other way around.
Call an ambulance, you know. They call an ambulance, but not for me.
Nah, that guy doesn't need to. Abnoy's still sort of stuck on top of that building.
Just like that, Ono have taken control of.
Oh, man flank is down. He actually got shut down there by.
I think for EVC, they finally showed up. Well, from long range.
Yeah. Still a bit of a precarious situation to be in if you're Ono, because as you can see, EVC are slowly creeping in. But as you take a look on the low ground as well, we're looking at some teams having a bit of a skirmish.
Yeah, AKO Ultraman and their sister team AV Ligers. So the last time they clashed was yesterday, I believe, in also in match 6, where AV Ligers completely got eviscerated. But it seems like Big Brother is still a bit
bullying the little
scary.
brother. Yeah.
Well, I mean, AKO, AV Ligers took out 3 guys from K9, so I think they get a bit of a boost from that. But
look, let's be realistic about that matchup, right? Like, what dog is going to beat a lion? None.
No.
Nah, didn't think so.
A wolf.
Oh.
A pack of wolves, I think.
But look, they're K9s. Like, look, it's a doggo. I think it's a Shiba Inu.
What?
For their logo. No? Looks like a Shiba Inu. It's
no,
orange.
It's a wolf.
No.
No, it's a
well,
wolf.
wolf is red.
Well,
that's a ginger wolf.
Yeah, right.
The wolves don't come in ginger.
No, the point is...
They don't come in ginger.
It's
a Shiba Inu.
No, Shiba Inu don't look like that.
Bro, Shiba Inus are at least like blondie,
Yeah, but what
yellow.
kind of Shiba Inu looks that
It's
fierce?
an angry Shiba Inu.
No, I know.
Have you seen angry Shiba Inus?
No, I have not. Because I don't think they get angry.
Actually, they do that, you know, that thing with the teeth. Hang on, we'll talk about this a little bit later on, as we do see AV trying to get that pushback onto AKO.
Down to Shears and Psycho. So those were the 2 members that dealt this crippling blow to K9.
Oh my gosh, look at that circle.
Oh, Normain.
Look at EVC, they must be so happy with their position.
On top of the world.
Yeah, they're on top of the world.
I believe they saw I believe Orange saw Normain. Not really sure if that's the case. I saw some traces of bullets heading his way, but Normain, he's gonna make a run for it, I think.
I mean, he's doing a pretty good job so far of surviving. We're still looking at 19.
Oh,
sure gets clipped.
Picked off mid-air. Mid-jump, in fact.
No.
I mean, Psycho now is the last guy standing Divine against Orange Esports in this compound, because Decos does have a grenade in hand. He's going to cook it up first. 4-bits was able to down Jab off screen. Of course, Divine wants to gatekeep Orange Esports, or at least they want to get through Orange Esports to get into the safe zone. Shura does have that ice grenade. Was able to at least, flush power out. And Newbie from a separate angle, a double nade. But I think Orange Esports should be able to get the revive. And Newbie again Oh, then they clipped Goku in the meantime. And Numi might have just saved this. They might have just broken through the defense of Orange Esports because everyone goes down. And of course, reward to Newbie for making it happen. 6 kills in the back. Daemon just knocked him down. But his buddies are there. They put up the glue wall. They bring Newbie back up. They say, Sergeant, you are not allowed to go down. Not today.
Not today, they say. Oh my goodness. What a play. Oh. Hang on, is that Normain? No, it's not.
That's
right.
Normain is somewhere.
Hang on, I'm trying to find Normain because let's be honest, right? Normain has somehow managed to avoid all the gunfights, all the fire, all the attention. He's just hiding in the corner. I don't think anyone can see him. He's hidden. Oh, wait,
Oh
no,
boy.
he might run into
Divine.
Divine. Oh, no.
Oh boy.
Divine, they know. Mr. D
I
got
don't think
hit.
they would see him.
No, Normain hit Mr. D.
Did he?
Yeah, he actually dropped Mr. D.
Oh, what? Oh, Lemon, what a shot. I thought that was it. And Norman actually got one.
Normain!
Mr. D got picked off. Or Norman, you reveal yourself. Now you better get out of that situation.
no.
Get a couple more kills. Norman has to deal with Divine. But if he can get rid of Divine, I think his chances of survival, of actually getting more points, increases. So it's between him and I believe Zen.
Oh, he's in such an awkward spot though.
Norman's hunting for him.
This is a really awkward spot. Normain, okay, he needs to get second place if he can. If he gets it, I will lose my marbles. He's looking for kills. I think he really wants to.
Oh, he sees him.
Oh, can he?
Normain.
But does Zen know? Does Zen know?
Normain.
I think Zen was.
Was that coming out? He came out straight to Normain.
Oh, he got to
He was waiting all along.
Oh, but did he give his position away to Jempong? He has a bike.
All right, Norman, let's go. Oh, that's
Go!
go.
Oh
Pump
my
the
gosh.
accelerator, Norman. Make it quick. I don't think Champong knows it though. I mean, McGrory has been down. All the other teams are preoccupied.
Everyone's busy.
Oh, look at Norman. He's driving straight.
Okay, no, focus on the other attention, Husky. Look at that fight on the left side.
EVC.
Legion.
Oh, grenade launcher. Does this land? No, it lands right. Yeah, and 4 base. He's just way too safe. Double glue wall stack on the triple glue wall. No one can break through that barricade. In fact, Kush God from Legion. Legion is still alive. We haven't talked much about them. Axel was able to down Pan to kick things off, but this blue zone is making life so hard. They gotta boost themselves up this mountain to make it up top. Pan though, unfortunately, does not survive. Normain finds himself in the absolute center of everything.
And no one's
somehow
noticed.
no one is engaging with them.
No one
This
has
is crazy.
noticed. I think he actually has advantage here because no one can see the position of his hill. Maybe Roy. I think Roy might be able to, but he's busy. He wants to go for Legion.
Kush God now turns
He
the
sees it.
corner.
He
Oh
sees
no,
it.
the blue zone closing. He gets abandoned.
Oh, Kush got stuck.
It's a bit too late. Kush God, they all get knocked down.
Seeker?
Also now man flying takes down 4-bit. Axel too fast catching Mickey. This might happen. The Legion Alpha, they're already out. We're down to 5 teams.
Oh no,
Where is
Toxic.
Normain?
Toxic.
He's still there. Toxic.
Yeah,
He's taking a
Toxic
lot of
took him out.
damage. Axel trying to run in. It's Better Links. He's still around. Jampongs. They're gonna take those shots right now. Jampong out. ORB Tyrants. They're no longer in the game. Man flank takes down too fast. 3 teams left. Eiko Ultraman are down, and it seems like the last man standing is gonna be Toxic. EVC was able to survive until the very end. When then this match is absolutely insane. The Blue Zone taking most of these players out.
It was chaotic, right? We've got K9, last member alive, trying to make the redemption play. We have everyone else on the other side of the map. If it wasn't for Toxics, I think it could have been a completely different game, right? Toxics was the one that was able to get that hunt down.
Absolutely. This is one of the few examples of the game ending the game for you.
Yes. Because if it didn't, I think it would be an absolute bloodbath. I think people would still be fighting. They'd be hiding behind all the terrain because this is the beauty of Kalahari, right? There's so many terrainal issues, if you want to call it that. That makes it so difficult to engage into people because you have these steep cliffs, you have people with glue walls, there's a potential of throwing a grenade from up top. We've also seen some amazing grenades from down bottom. It's just, the terrain is insane.
Yeah, the terrain is going to cost you your round.
Yeah.
Right? There's
And if
certain
you-
situations where once the circle starts closing in, you're like, well, I guess this is it.
Yeah, and it's that mastery of manipulating the terrain to your advantage that can really help out some of those teams. So if you know how to maneuver around Kalahari, you have a massive advantage over the competition.
Yeah, and I think that was what all those teams towards the very end did great. I think Normain really
No,
demonstrated
I
how
know
to
you keep
use
talking
it.
about. Okay, stop. I'm going to be sending the cease and desist. You are not their manager
No,
anymore.
I'm trying to bring a good example, right?
Yes. But we have other teams
Right,
that got
EVC.
the booyah. Yes.
Let's
okay.
talk about EVC.
There we go.
So you're
supposed to start.
So we take a look at the reaction cam first from these players. That was what I want to start with. I want to see, the reaction of our dear players from EVA continue after winning that. And
all right, so I think
we're not getting it.
We're not going to be able to get it, unfortunately. One of the players disconnected. But we are going to look at the stats a little bit later on. And I think most importantly, we need to see the standings for today because I want to know where everyone is after day 2 of play because this is going to set the story up for day 3, right?
And if anyone was able to catch up to Anxiety, who's sitting at first place with 100 points.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone was able to catch up, unfortunately.
I feel like that's the case, right?
Close.
I think teams might come close, but not overtake them.
Yeah.
So I think this is definitely going to be really tight. If Anxiety remains at top, then good for them. In fact, they deserve it, right? And of course, all of this made possible by our partners at Snapdragon Elite Gaming when winning matters. We're looking at a team to overtake Anxiety, but that might not come true today. But we still have 2 more days, and this is all made possible by them. And on the other hand, also by Monster Energy for allowing everyone to unleash the beast. Check them out at www.monsterenergy.com/gaming.
Not surprised that they were able to last all 6 games. But of course, that's going to be the end of our broadcast day today. But we have more games happening tomorrow. So if you haven't already, join our Discord group to get more information on the upcoming matches. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to ask one of the admins and they'll be more than happy to help. And I'll let you know as to what other stuff's happening because it's not just Free Fire. We've got some other games being broadcasted as well. But the standings, I need to see the standings because I want to know where everyone is at. I still think first place is not going to move.
Do you think that teams can overtake, who's that Kalasak Philippines? I think that is also a burning question. But of course, we do have the highlight reel, at least from the final round of the day.
Yeah.
We started off with Orange Esports having a fantastic opening against Warsick Philippines. I believe Warsick Philippines was the first team to get knocked out.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to see the highlights at the tail end of things because I think that was where we really see the mastery of Kalahari.
Yeah, it's chaotic, right? There was a lot happening. Everyone was occupying the western side of the map. I think there was a little bit towards the south. That was where Toxics was anyway. But, that ending, I think it's a classic Kalahari game, if you think about it. It's always just that terrain, having people rock climbing to try and get to the center. I mean, that's so normal.
We actually saw very interesting interaction. Prior to rock climbing, we saw people doing the shoulder boost.
Yes.
Jumping on top of each other.
Yeah.
That was a creative way, honestly. I think if it works, it works. Like that.
I mean, that's pretty normal, right? If you want to boost somebody, you just sort of have them jump on
Even
your
in real
shoulders.
life, yes.
Yeah. I mean, okay, real life, there's weight limitations. We don't really have that in Free Fire, so...
Physics does not apply in Free Fire.
Thank goodness.
Okay,
technically it kind of does because you can't take too much full damage.
Yeah, well,
So we have some.
Pretty forgiving though. It's
pretty forgiving.
It's pretty forgiving. But this was one of the perfect engages execution from Divine. I mean, a newbie setting things up. It all started with this ice grenade from Shura, newbie getting a double nade, and while Orange will preoccupy, a second nade comes in, and it sets up for this complete surround, this pincer attack from Divine that ended Orange Esports run.
Not gonna lie though, I was hoping Orange Esports were gonna place a little bit higher to end the day today. So for them to end up in 9th place like that, it's gonna sting going into the next day. Because it's getting them further and further away from the top end of the bracket, and for obvious reasons, you want to stay towards the top end because it's more generous. You've got more leeway to potentially have a bad game.
And actually, just now we saw the different POV from AKO Ultraman on how Normain single-handedly dispatched them.
Yeah.
He distracted Zen. He bombed Mr. D with the nade, and he was able to kind of survive. But yeah, you can see as things stand, I mean, the game ended the game on its own.
Yeah.
It's a sentient game.
And I mean, we also see the domination of just like any kind of shotguns going into that final circle. But of course, to end the round here are the round standings for our last game of the day. It was Kalahari for teams in Group A versus C. And Oh No Romeo actually took the crown here with 18 points. Yes, they didn't get the booyah, but it doesn't matter because they got 18 compared to EVA Continue, who, yes, got the booyah, but got 16 points at the end of the day.
I'm surprised that with them having such an advantage with the circle and the terrain, they didn't get more kills. I think they were just playing it safe. I mean, AKO Ultraman coming in third with 14 points. Divine with a 12 despite being taken out of earlier than a lot of these teams. K9 coming in with 9 points, so less than 5 points away from Anxiety, but that means that they are one of the teams that has overtaken who's next, Kalasak?
They'll be second place, without a doubt. So
not too shabby with only one guy surviving it.
Exactly. From the very beginning, right? Like he got to 5th place, I think. So it's pretty significant. But of course, to close out the day, we do need to talk about Oh No Romeo here, who's going to be the MVP of the round. 3,761 damage, 9 kills to their name. Very efficient damage conversion into kills. And then, of course, the survival time, 17 minutes, 19 seconds. Pretty average time. I don't think
it's average game time of Free Fire.
Yeah, we haven't really seen anyone survive longer than that. I don't think it's physically possible because you just take so much damage.
Yeah, it's impossible to go past, I think, like 17 minutes and
20 maybe.
And 20 or 30 max, because by the time the circle would have closed in and you would have perished anyways, right? So if you guys wonder what's the maximum time, is 17 minutes and 17 and a half minutes. Anxiety at 100. K9 Esports 96. AKO Ultraman breaking through 91. Divine makes it to 4th. And who's next? Kalasak Philippines booted to 5th place.
Bro, look at those big changes. So I think, firstly, the big surprise is Anxiety coming out of nowhere. K9 Esports sitting in 2nd place, which, if you've seen the game today, I think you'd be surprised. But K9 are actually in 2nd place. I think another surprise here is going to be who's next, Kalasak. This team, okay, so they started the day up top. They look fantastic. But then they kind of just disappeared in that last 2 games. I'm not sure what happened, if maybe they got caught by surprise, or maybe they tried something and it didn't work out. So yeah, this one was a bit of a shocker. This team was literally a fall from grace.
Yeah, it's a cold day for them and also hard to get. But I want to quickly look at Anxiety and K9 Esports, right? Because the only points that K9 Esports lack are 4 kills. But if we look at the Booyahs, K9 Esports has 3, Anxiety only has 1. So if we talk about consistency, I think we have found the more consistent team. But of course, while taking nothing away from K9 Esports, I still think they did fantastic. But Anxiety definitely showed up while being in the shadows.
Yeah. I mean, if I was going to put my money on a team, I'd probably say Anxiety.
But it's a tough choice, right? I think it's kind of like...
But here we go, folks. We have new groupings starting tomorrow. So we don't have the old groupings anymore. The new groupings include, for Group A, AV Ligers, K9 Esports, Hard to Get. Well, hang on. Are those all the top teams in the...
Anxiety is there.
Excuse
AKO
me?
Ultraman.
Who picked these groups? I'm kidding.
I love this.
Oh my gosh. So this is going to be really interesting change of events for tomorrow's matches. But of course, Group B, we have Team Valhalla, EVA Continue, Who's Next, Kalasag, PH, Legion Alpha, Black Angel, Malika, and Jix Project. Which,
This is going to be well, I wouldn't say group of death, but this would be kind of a buffet for Who's Next, Kalasag Philippines.
Yeah.
If they retain their form from day one.
Well,
I think EVA Continue also has a decent chance.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the only one standing in their way is probably EVA Continue.
Yeah.
But then again, you might say it's a buffet, but what if the other 2 groups are the big groups? Let's take a look at Group C.
GN Remy, Ono Romeo, Orange Esports, War 6 Philippines, Divine, and ORV Tyrant.
Okay, you know what? You say that Group B is going to devour everyone in their group, but I think Group A and C are going to eat them.
No, I mean, Group B is basically WNX eating the rest of the Group B members.
But who's to say Group A and C don't eat Group B's members? So it might not be food for who you think it is.
But I think Group C definitely is the most balanced group, I think, overall. And this is the reaction shot from
there
earlier.
We go. Oh my
god! Is that a poodle?
No, I think that's a Pomeranian.
It's a Pomeranian. Yes.
Oh, it's so cute.
Alright, that is my new favorite team. EVC.
Oh, it's a doggy. I love seeing dogs on stream. Such a super thing. Oh my goodness, but that does conclude today's play day. It's only day 2. We are going to continue with more games tomorrow, but before we go, Husky, I do believe we have an interview.
Yes, we will be speaking, well, not we, our friends at the Bahasa side, Ikuto and Hajia will be speaking with one of the members from EVA Continue. They'll be talking to Toxic, so let's check in.
Happy?
I can tell you, I'm so happy.
Toxics, they're asking, kamusta naman yung unang buya nyo?
Yun nga, sabihin mo lang yan, no? Nakaka-overwhelm, yun na lang.
Toxic said the team is overwhelmed. They're super happy that they got their first buya.
Alright, so soalan yang pertama daripada Ikuto menanyakan kepada Toxic, apakah perasaan berjaya mendapatkan buya? So mereka jelasnya happy dengan result untuk mendapatkan buya untuk game yang terakhir tadi.
So my next question to you, Toxic, do you like the new grouping that has been shown?
Toxic, gusto mo ba yung bagong grouping na napakita sa inyo?
Sige, okay lang. Okay. Oo, kama.
Toxic said he's very much fine with the grouping.
Okay, so Ikuto menanyakan dengan reshuffle-nya group tu apakah perasaan daripada pasukan EVA Continue. So dia kata reshuffle ke tak reshuffle ke dia rasa macam tak ada apa-apa, sama je. Tak ada impact.
Okay, so my last question to you, Toxic. Other than your team, who is currently the top 3 in this Snapdragon Pro Series Free Fire?
Toxic, para sa'yo, sino ba yung top 3 na teams na magaling para sa'yo?
Ako Ligers, tsaka Eva, yung JM Remy ata yan, tsaka yung ako ulit. Dalawang ako, tsaka yung JM Remy.
Toxic said the top 3 teams is Ako Ligers, GM Remy, and the other Ako team.
Oh, AV Ligers.
AV Ligers. Okay, so Ikuto menanyakan antara top 3 pilih apa tim yang memberikan saingan buat pasukan EVA Continue adalah pasukan AV Ligers, AQ Adroman dan juga GM Remy.
Okay, my last question to you. Do you have anything to say to your friend, to your fans, or maybe to your girlfriends?
Anong masasabi mo sa mga kaibigan mo at sa mga girlfriend? Toxic said just to keep supporting their team and they'll do their best in the coming games.
Alright, so kita menanyakan kepada Toxic di mana apakah yang dia nak cakap kepada fan-fan dia ke sesiapa kawan ataupun girlfriend dia sendiri, dan dia cakap terus sokong pasukan EVA Continue untuk game-game yang akan datang.
Baik, alright. Thank you so much, Toxic. Thank you so much and have a great night.
I'm surprised. So, top 3 teams that he thinks is our challenge. AKO Ultraman, makes sense.
Yep.
GM Remy, perfect sense. And get this, AV Liger.
That one's interesting. That one I was not expecting. I was thinking maybe after today, you'd be thinking maybe anxiety.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were not expecting the answer because we look at AV Ligers realistically on the leaderboard, they are at the bottom.
Maybe they scrim with AV Ligers quite a lot, so they know how AV Ligers play, and maybe they don't do too well with them. And this is also something to consider, right? Because being in the same region, they probably play with each other a lot.
Yeah, probably the direct counter, right? But so far, we haven't seen that interaction.
No. I think
surprising.
It is surprising. I guess it's just they never ran into each other, so you don't really get to see that kind of engagement play out.
That could be one of the factors, but he did like the new grouping. So I personally find, again,
look, we're viewers.
How I characterize it, right? Group A, absolute group of death. Group B, kind of a free-for-all, and Group C being the most well-rounded group.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be it for us today. Make sure you come back for tomorrow's matches. But I do believe we have some highlights to show off, I think, before we're going to be ending the stream. We had some really exciting games today.
If the highlight does not include the 184 kill, I'm going to be very sad. Not disappointed, not angry, I'm just sad.
No, I think you just have a stern talking to someone.
Someone should have seen that. Someone should have seen that. Come on.
Oh my goodness. Well, I do believe we're going to close the show out. So for everyone that's tuning in, thank you so much for tuning into the broadcast. Make sure you come back tomorrow at the exact same time because we have some more free fire for you. It's time to see who's going to be the champion. See you tomorrow.
till a player on top know it. Rooftop, penthouse suite. If you really want it, gotta own it. Fight through it, we was at the lowest. Blood, sweat, tears, the components. Riding all year, now's the moment. We are not friends, we are opponents. Yeah, I'm coming for mine. Yeah, I'm making a play, the game on the line. Yeah, I've been on the grind. Yeah, I jump in the spot, I made it my time. Yeah, look in the sky. Yeah, the stars align, no shade to shine. Can't stop it already. Emotional work and devotion, we put in this time. Look, you won't stop.